All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome. If you're new, Press X podcast. We're back again. I know, surprising, right? Boss is here. He's ready. I hate when boss is on time for for his job. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's April 13th, Monday. We seemingly have potentially a big week ahead of us. Yeah. Yeah, Michael, we're going to be talking about that. I didn't realize the reviews for Pragmata were actually going live today. So it wasn't originally in my title. But when I saw it, I was like, oh. And yeah, it's reviewing really good, man. It's reviewing really good. So we are going to. Uh, I I just read the interaction between Ghetto God and Doo Doo Brown. That's a great name. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the stream to let us know you're gonna go to sleep. All right. Yeah, man. Pragmata, the reviews are out, so we're gonna be talking about that today. We're gonna be seeing what the reviews are saying. You know, it's sitting at like an 85 on Metacritic. Um, really good. That's a really good score. This is a new AAA IP from Capcom. Was actually announced at the Future of Gaming PS5 showcase in June of 2020. That's right. That's how long ago it was first announced. State of play. Well, the Xbox show was confirmed. It's not really an Xbox show, guys. From my understanding, it seems like it's just Metro 2039 getting revealed, and it's just like Xbox presents. Seems like Xbox is just kind of slapping their logo on it, which is fine. But I think it's just worth clarifying that it doesn't, I don't think it's actually a show. Like, they want you to tune in and watch it live. It almost seems like, it kind of feels like the equivalent of like when Sony would do state of plays for third party games. You know, like, remember Sony did a state of play for 007 or Hogwarts Legacy. It feels like that, but on the Xbox side. So they're doing it for Metro. So that's happening on Thursday. But yeah, there are rumors that Sony is going to be hosting a state of play on Thursday. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. We're talking about God of War and how, I don't know, Tom Henderson, he was told that the next mainline God of War game is getting announced in April. And here we are. It's April 13th. We're on the cusp of a new state of play. We're also going to be talking about the pricing of the PlayStation 6. And so, well, you're saying it's an Xbox developer direct for one game? Yeah, I mean that's basically how I'm looking at it too. Which is interesting because I think Microsoft doesn't usually do that. They don't usually do that for one game. So this might be a new thing they're starting, which is, I'm totally fine with that. I'm interested to see this Metro game. I think the last Metro game was revealed at an Xbox showcase, if I'm not mistaken. So they have like a partnership there. Chris, what's up, man? But yeah, we're going to be talking about the pricing of the PlayStation 6 once again because we have hardware leaker Moore's Law is dead. He is breaking down how much each PlayStation device costs and giving his best breakdown, I guess, of how much we can expect the PS6 and the PlayStation handheld to cost realistically. And it's a pretty comprehensive and thorough breakdown. So we'll, we'll talk about that. We're also talking about Physint, the Hideo Kojima, definitely not Metal Gear Solid game. It's getting hair everywhere. And apparently there's like a report that came out from MP First. I covered it in my video earlier, but casting call. It's getting real, it's happening. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm sure we'll talk about some random stuff. Starfield apparently is having some issues on PS5. Metal Gear Solid movie confirmed. So, yeah, guys, before we dive into any of these topics and go any further with the discussions, do me a favor. Take a moment, hit that like button. If you guys enjoy the streams, if you enjoy Press X Podcast, hitting that like button is the easiest thing you can do to really help engage more so. Will Metro be day one on Game Pass? I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. If they're doing a an Xbox like direct presentation, I think it would make sense for it to be day one on Game Pass. I imagine quite a few people are looking at this assuming that's the case, but we don't have confirmation of that yet. It's weird that we never hear about OD, but hear a bunch about Physint. That's further out. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. What is going on with OD? I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I just forget that that game is a thing. I mean, we are getting the Xbox showcase in a couple months, so it could show up there. My question is, we keep getting all this information about Physint. I wonder if we're going to see it sometime soon. I mean, I continue to put emphasis on the fact that this is the 40th anniversary of Kojima's time being in the industry. He's been in the industry for 40 years, and he seemingly wants to celebrate that. Um, showing off Physint for the first time would be a pretty sick way to do that. Will the state of play, or hold on, Ray, you're saying MBG, I started Starfield yesterday, played the first hour, no glitches or freezing. Well, that's good. Yeah, apparently some people are getting kind of unlucky. There seems to be some kind of crashing issue with Starfield on the PS5 and PS5 Pro. Will the state of play be the 16th with the Xbox show, or were the leakers wrong? Well, let me see here. I need to figure out what time. Why is trailer 3 trending? Oh. Um. Okay, so yeah, people are thinking that tomorrow, when this hacker group leaks all this stuff for GTA, people are thinking they're gonna leak GTA 6 trailer number 3. Uh-oh. Hold on though. Let me see what time this Xbox presentation is happening. 10 a.m. PT. So that's 1 p.m. my time. Okay, so I think there's a good chance we could see a state of play happen the same day as this show. So it says the next Metro game from 4A Games is Metro 2039, and it will be revealed on Thursday as part of an Xbox First Look event. So that's what they're calling it. Xbox First Look. Which is interesting because there isn't even any Xbox logos on the picture. It just straight up says Xbox First Look, Metro 2039. Interesting. It seems like Microsoft is barely involved. That's like kind of the vibe I'm getting here. But if they're gonna be doing it at like 1 p.m., usually when Sony does their state of plays, they do them in the late afternoon or evening. So it could be 5 p.m., 6 p.m. That's usually around the time. So this little showcase for Metro will probably already be over by the time, if Sony is in fact doing a state of play on Thursday, they go live. Yeah, it says here April 16th, 2026, 10 a.m. Wait, what? 8 p.m. EET? I wonder. Oh, Clark, what's going on? Yeah, I do wonder how much Xbox branding is going to be on the show because they're just calling it Xbox First Look. I've never seen this. I think this is the first time they're doing something like this. Hmm. As of right now, I will let you know, though, we haven't gotten any updates on the state of play. I've been waiting to see if we're going to get like confirmation from Nate the Hate or this other guy, Alir. Been waiting to see if we're going to get confirmation that, yeah, 16th, state of play. But I do want to let you guys know, EET, Eastern European Time. Okay, thank you, right? Yeah, I was confused by that. I'm like, EET? The hell is that? Never heard that in my life. I'm not European, so I guess that explains why. Well, no, Dillo, we were just talking about that, man. It's not an Xbox showcase. Metro 2039 is getting a reveal, and Xbox is just basically putting their logo on it, calling it an Xbox first look. So I don't think that's going to interfere at all with, like, if Sony is planning on doing a state of play, I don't think that's going to interfere with it at all. And if anything, Sony can, this announcement was just made. So, like, let's just say, for example, Sony was planning on announcing on Wednesday, hey, we're doing a state of play April 16th at 1 p.m. They see that this is announced, they could just push it back. Let's push it to 5 p.m., 3 p.m., something like that. They could definitely do something like that. They have the time. Exactly. It's what Sony did with Hogwarts Legacy and 007. It's interesting to see Microsoft get on that because, like, I always kind of wondered why they didn't do that. And I guess what I figured is, well, they do their annual showcase in the summer, and they have a ton of third-party games show up there, and they do their developer direct. But I guess we can now expect Microsoft to start kind of partnering with more, AAA third-party games to try to do these presentations. I like it. It kind of makes sense that this would eventually evolve to be a bigger thing now that E3 is long gone. If there's nothing, then Sony delayed its show. I mean, they can do that. They've done that before, to be clear. Sony has literally delayed a state of play by 24 hours, just to spite the leakers. So, no. I don't think it. J-Mar, you're asking if that Alir guy is BS. I don't think so. The problem that, we'll find out. But the reason why I don't think he is because, or he might not be, people were going back and they were looking at all his past tweets and they were assuming that that was him leaking stuff. But he did confirm that, like, no. Like, for example, when people saw his Bloodborne tweet, they thought, oh, you're leaking it. And I guess he wasn't expecting people to go back and, prop this stuff up that he tweeted years ago, as like, he's leaking it. And it is kind of silly when you think of it that way. But he confirmed that, no, the only thing he's saying is, he said he leaked that Metro 2039 was getting revealed. He was sticking with that. And he said the state of play, as far as he heard, is still on track, I believe. So we're going to find out really soon. You've heard rumors of Microsoft doing something themselves. I think people are getting confused because I think it was like Jez Corden and Tom Warren. They were all saying that Xbox is doing some kind of show this week, but this is the show, the Xbox Presents, or whatever. That is what Microsoft is doing this week. So it's nothing bigger. Like, it's not like an indie showcase. It's not like a it's not like a full developer direct with multiple games. Xbox first look. Did he say the same date for the state of play? He did. He said he believes it. He said from what he heard, the state of play was going to be on the 16th. Now, again, Sony has moved their dates around to mess people up. I'll never forget there was this one time, it must have been like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where everything was coming out about the state of play, and everybody was like focused on the date, and it literally got announced the next day, the day after the leaked date, and it was like, okay. Breaking news, massive 007 First Light spoilers and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake details. Just the start of a huge leak from an Indonesian ratings board. Yikes. Yeah, I saw something about that earlier. I don't know, though, man. I don't know. Let's see. Indonesian leak states that Black Flag Resynced will feature, quote, new characters and stories. Co-op for Resident Evil 0 Remake leaked from Capcom network IDs. Okay, well, not shocking. 007 First Light ending leaked in other titles. Oh man, this must be pretty bad. BBC is reporting hacker group Shiny Hunters plans to leak Rockstar Games data soon as they claim demands were not met. Yeah, there seems to be a lot going on with leaks and hacks right now. That's pretty bad. Nobody leak anything or don't spoil anything. Please don't. You could go read the leaks yourself if you want, but please don't spoil anything in the chat. Yeah, dude, how crazy would that be? It's like trailer number 3 leaks, or no, it releases, but it's because the hacker group leaked it. Rich, you're saying what was leaked? So apparently there's like a massive leak with the Indonesian ratings board, and I think we're just hearing the very beginnings. Apparently, like thousands of games, bro. So right now, the ending of 007 leaked. A bunch of information about Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag Remake leaked, and it just seems like there's going to be a lot coming out. So keep your eyes peeled. Be on the lookout. Got to be careful if you want things to not be spoiled potentially. I'm afraid that they will leak the trailer 3 for GTA 6. Well, I mean, I will tell you this. When we covered the situation going on with Rockstar Games and their hack, they came out and put out a statement yesterday saying that none of their important materials were taken, nothing with employees. So basically what they're saying is like, it's nothing serious. We're going to see, though. Somebody's lying here. Either the hackers are lying and making it seem like they have all this stuff trying to scare Take-Two into paying them a bunch of money, or Take-Two Interactive is basically downplaying it and saying, no, everything's fine. Nothing to see here, as there's explosions in the background. But we will find out tomorrow, because if I'm not mistaken, they said they're going to leak it tomorrow. So we talked about this yesterday, but the last person who did this is now spending the rest of their life in jail. Crazy. Where do I find these leaks? You can go check the gaming leaks from our subreddit. Any bit of info will be a big deal because it's GTA 6. At this point in time, it will be. Yeah. I think it's interesting because when you look back at the original GTA 6 leak, it was a big deal, but it felt like people weren't feeling, I don't know. The energy was kind of off. The vibe was off because I think everybody understood, like, I'm not supposed to see this. Like, this is super early in development, like test builds and stuff. It kind of reminds me of, it very much reminds me of the Wolverine hack where it's like, oh, Wolverine footage. You know what? Maybe it's, you begin to understand why we don't see this stuff. You begin to understand why developers don't show games this early in development because they look horrible. Just straight up, they look bad. It's stuff that's meant for developers' eyes only. But I feel like if Rockstar was hacked right now, like for real, like if all their materials for GTA 6 was hacked, this would be God, devastating for Take-Two, where we are at a point where the things that they would leak, you're pretty much looking at final build of the game. You're looking at final, everything's should be basically final, since we're about 6 months away from launch. So it would be a much, much bigger deal than something like Wolverine at that time or the earlier GTA 6 hack. So it's going to be interesting to see if they really do have anything of value that they want to leak out. If not, then it means they were just bluffing and they were trying to scare Take-Two and get a bunch of money, which I guess wouldn't be that surprising. MBG, look at the replies to your last tweet. Very interesting about Faye Game. Leaked in 2023. See what you're talking about here. I'm looking now. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in particular. MBG, if anything does get leaked about GTA 6, I won't care too much. To me, that game is more about the experience of playing it over some random story beats. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Rich, you need to chill. Rich, you can't be doing that, bro. Rich, you can't be doing that. I swear, man. Rich, it's just 1 minute. Still, you cannot abuse your power as a mod. You cannot do that. No, he was not being rude. Rich. First, you exposed me to your feet yesterday. Now this. Calm yourself. You must be calm. Being rude. No, Rich, you're mad. You're mad because he disagreed with your stance, your insane stance that no game should be on Xbox. No game should have an Xbox version. Oh, wait, you weren't even talking to him? Wait, did he just call you out for the sake of calling you out? All right, that's pretty funny. All right, I mean, I guess that's kind of fair. If that's true, Rich, if you weren't saying anything in regards, hold on, what did you say, Rich? Now I gotta check. If any, okay. Well, you said if any of these companies continue to release on Xbox, then they all deserve to be leaked. Honestly. Well, all right, that's fair, I guess. 1 minute timeout, bro. We have to allow Rich to express himself. It's okay. If Rich, he wants to. It's okay. People are allowed to disagree, though. People are allowed to push back. Rich, if you come out and you say there should be no Xbox versions, if they make an Xbox version, their game deserves to be leaked, then you got to be prepared to accept that people might come out and be like, bro, you sound like a whack job. You sound absolutely insane, man. Comes with the territory. You're not super interested in the 007 game, but the golden PS5 controller is amazing. Yeah, people really seem to like that one. The 007 DualSense. I'm DualSensed out, bro. I can't buy anymore. I'm good. I'm good for a while. This is we're still trying to help Rich on this one. He says this is a pro PlayStation channel. Follow the rules. Indeed. We all know that one of the rules of this channel is if you can't accept that an Xbox version is unacceptable, right? You see what I'm saying there? You have to accept that it's unacceptable. Then we're on the same page. Necron, he's being a good sport, though. He says, okay, I'm sorry. Mr. B, you're saying you also want a DualSense Edge. You're just worried it won't be compatible with the PS6. I don't blame you on that one. That's a tough one. My God, my eyes are getting all watery. Why are my eyes getting all watery? Allergies, man. We don't know what will or will not be compatible with the PS6, and so I definitely can't blame you for holding off on that one. I mean, we want to believe it'll be there. Shadowlink, Shadowlink, don't encourage. Why would you do that? Why would you encourage him like that? Rich, don't let it get to your head, bro. Remember, you may have a shield, but I can take it away. All right? Don't forget that. Shadowlink, I don't know what to say to you, man. You're just an agent of chaos. Whiskey says, I don't think he did anything wrong. I read his chat. Yeah. Yes. Forget Xbox. I know eventually it's going to happen. You guys just want me to go all in. All in, where it's like you even so much as think about smiling when we talk about Xbox. It's over. Suplexed right on out. You want to come in here and tell me Xbox is good? You want to tell me, you want to talk about how excited you are for Xbox? Oh. Oof. Straight up fighting words. One day there will be peace. One day. Tell you what, though. How about that Gears of War E-Day? Curious how Kojima will do his directing for Physint after doing Death Stranding and OD in his most action game since MGS. I'll tell you what. So when it comes to the Physint report, for anybody who's interested in this, apparently MP First. I gotta say, MP First continues to surprise me, man. It continues to surprise me. They're doing some pretty good work out here, I would say. Spartan says, but I love my Xbox. I love this channel too. You must hide your love for Xbox, Spartan. You must. I'm sorry. But it's for the best. You must love it in secret. We have Josh Z with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, man. He says pre-alpha/alpha footage needs to stop being treated as a game leak. It is not. It's concepts created and tested in the game engine, not functional. Agreed. I agree completely with that, Josh. There was nothing more cringe than seeing when the GTA 6 leak, it was a hack, when that came out and the Insomniac hack, seeing people reacting so negatively. It's like, guys, come on, man. Like, you got to know. This is not even remotely, you can't even call it pre-alpha. It's like you're saying, it's just concepts and testing. They're messing around basically to see what works and what doesn't. And it was really cringe to see people being like, oh my God, it looks so ugly. Dude, the craziest thing was when people were looking at this early footage of, this test footage of GTA 6, and they're like, why does it look like GTA 5? It's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Just be patient. Be patient. I mean, dude, what's crazy is like, it just goes to show how so much is done to a game in the final year leading up to launch, where like you'll see instances of trailers coming out for games or gameplay segments a year before the game comes out, and then they'll show like another segment maybe like a month or two before launch, and the difference in graphics, even just in that short period of time, is like, whoa, Yeah, we'll have to check out these Pragmata reviews. Before I do that, I just want to um oh, you pull up here for the cats. I appreciate that, Chris. I want to just tell you guys that apparently MP First is leaking a little bit. Leaking, it's nothing too serious, but some casting details about Physint. So it says, while we don't have many details since development has just barely begun, we already know some of the cast. True to Kojima's style, the roster features Hollywood talent, including Charlie Frazier, Don Lee, and Manami Hamabe. Kojima has also noted that further casting, scanning, and performance capture for the title would kick off later this year. As my eyelash is falling into my eyeball. That process appears to be well underway, as we've spotted some brand new casting details that further confirm the character rosters moving forward, and that performance capture should be kicking off very soon. These new casting calls offer a bit of insight into the project, revealing the internal code name for casting purposes to be Shimmer. It's also revealed that Mari Ueda will be the casting director. Ueda is the founder of the motion capture company Pivot Motion, which recently worked with Kojima on Death Stranding 2. As for the content of the casting call, while it doesn't reveal anything mind-blowing, it helps us picture the kind of title Kojima's going for and definitely reinforces his return to the action espionage roots. Still, because development is in such an early stage, we should remember that these specifics are prone to changing or being scrapped in their entirety before the game's release, so do keep that in mind. The casting calls are looking to fill the roles of multiple passengers on a hijacked bus. Among them are a mother holding her newborn baby, 5 teenagers of different ethnicities, 2 other male passengers, and lastly, an antagonistic character with a German accent. Out of these characters, the one that stands out is definitely the villainous type. Interestingly, the role's reference description says, quote, Mads Mikkelsen in Hannibal, but with flair, end quote. A nod to an actor we've already seen working with Kojima. A few other small details are provided, noting his complexion is slim and his personality is, quote, quiet but intense and confident in a psychotic way. There's a strong emphasis on the German accent requirement, which makes us wonder where the setting could be, though it's hard to conclude much with so few details. Still, chances are this role isn't for the main villain, but rather a minor antagonist, as an open casting call would be irregular for the type of Hollywood A-listers Kojima tends to cast for lead roles. It's also worth noting that because we haven't seen a trailer yet for obvious reasons, the casting work could be for a very early vertical slice meant to establish the game's tone, or perhaps for a specific action-heavy sequence being prepared for a future reveal trailer. Shooting for Shimmer is scheduled to start around June of this year, which gives us a rough idea of when we could see the game. Spoiler alert, it won't be anytime soon. For reference, motion capture work for Death Stranding 2 did not start until 2022, and then the game wasn't released until 3 years later. So, it does say that Physint is looking to be a much more ambitious work than Death Stranding 2. Back in May 2025, Kojima told French magazine, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of this magazine, that the project would take him at least another 5 or 6 years. Given that timeline, it is safe to assume we are looking at a release window of 2030 or 31. So we're basically looking at a PS6 game. So yeah, I mean, what do we think about this, guys? How are we feeling? I mean, I will say, it sounds like this is going to be for a major set piece moment in the game. I'm not going to lie. I could see it being maybe like an opening. Sounds like Christoph Waltz. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's who he's trying to go for, maybe. Very excited. Hold on, Whiskey's giving some advice to Rich. They can mention Xbox if it's relevant, but you treat any mention of it as an offense, which isn't right. Yeah, I'm trying to teach him Whiskey. He'll learn. He's learning. He's getting there. I think it's hard for him. I've been there. I remember. It sends him. Hear the term Xbox, start tweaking. You're saying I thought Pragmata was an exclusive. It kind of takes away the appreciation of the high reviews it's getting. I don't think it's. I mean, I guess that's one way to view it. I don't really see it that way. I don't blame you for thinking it was exclusive though, because yeah, it was a long time. Pragmata was revealed at the original PS5 event, and yeah, man, people. It took many years for people to realize, like, oh, this is a multi-platform title, which again, you can't really blame anybody for seeing that game at the PS5 showcase and assuming, like, oh, well, any game they're showing, these are exclusive games, right? Do I think Physint will be PS6 only? I think there's a good chance. Yeah. The biggest reason I think that, Raven, is because if you go back and listen to when Kojima was talking with Herman, about the reveal of Physint, saying how they're really pushing for like the most cutting edge visuals they can achieve, and so I think the best way to do that would probably be through, you know, through just going PS6 only. Top Shelf Gaming, what's up, man? Kojima likes it. Well, I mean, yeah, he loves to take advantage of the hardware, dude. He loves to. That's one of the things he was seemingly excited about with the PS3. And you look at MGS4. I mean, MGS4 was like ahead of everything, dude, by like a mile. So I don't want to say it's guaranteed. I don't want to say it's guaranteed that it'll be PS6 only, but Hmm. Rich, I mean, you're right in some sense. Some people do that. And I just try to be careful because there are definitely people who are not doing that. They're just trying to be normal. But that's where I try to be very careful because I don't want to see normal people get caught in the crossfire of the maniacs and the trolls and stuff like that. But you're not wrong. That does happen sometimes. I wonder what engine they will use for that game. Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. My assumption is probably Decima. We don't know whether or not Physint is going to be an open world game or not, but if there's any chance that Kojima wants to make an open world game again, after what he did with Death Stranding 2, Decima is the way to go. I do wonder if Decima could be fitted for a more linear game. I don't see why it couldn't. My guess is he'll stick with Decima though, because that's the engine his team knows. Unless maybe, I mean, let's face it, maybe Kojima's like, we got to make our own engine now. It's possible. I mean, he's saying it's going to take 5 or 6 years. They could be in the process of developing their own engine, which would be super interesting. But Decima would be great. Does the chat repeat for everyone, or is it just you? I think it might just be on your end. I'm not seeing any repeats here. JMR says, dude, there's nothing wrong with praising Xbox. Are we a PlayStation cult? Yes. JMR, I'm not sure what you were thinking, bro. We are a cult. Did you just expose yourself? Oh, you're not part of it? JMR. You think Decima definitely? I mean, I would assume it's going to be Decima. Oh, I appreciate that. You're saying I like to hear both sides of the conversation, and MBG is my favorite PlayStation content creator. Thank you. Thank you. I do try my best to show both sides. I mean, I have my bias, of course, but the decimal engine always being upgraded with iteration of games, you can see it improve every time. You would love for Physint to be a linear open area game. I could see it being that. I mean, it's just if after coming off of Kojima making 2 open world games, it would be fascinating to see him kind of pull back on it a little bit. But I do wonder if he's saying this is going to be his most ambitious game ever made. I mean, look at what he tried to pull off with Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. I could see him going like full blown open city, bro. He wants to make his own. He wants to make a game. Like, you're talking about the same guy who, after he saw the trailer for GTA 5, while he was making Metal Gear Solid 5, said he was depressed. So I don't know if Sony's fully backing him, and it's like, listen, Kojima, we'll give you whatever you want as long as you make this type of game. Who knows? Who knows, man? I can't wait to see it, though. It's going to be a while, but I can't wait. All right. OD is being done in Unreal 5. What's your thoughts on them switching engines? We're just going back to Decima. I mean, the only reason I don't think they would go to Unreal Engine 5 for Physint is, well, I think Sony would really encourage him to use Decima again, but mainly because, again, like, if they're making a bigger type of game, a more open game, I feel like they would have to take a lot more time to learn how to make that happen in Unreal Engine 5 versus everybody already knows how to do it with Decima. So, but they could. I mean, it's hard to say, you know? So early with this stuff. Do I think Kojima's going to do an MGS2 again in terms of directing of surrealism and symbolism after the lessons he learned from Death Stranding and OD? Well, all I can say is that Kojima did make it clear that he's going to be taking, I think the way he worded it is, Physint will be the culmination of the 40 years of experience he's accrued being in the industry. So, you know, when you consider everything he's achieved and all the different things he's done in his games, I kind of can't wait to see what that looks like, dude. You know, I can't wait to see what that looks like. It seems like one of these things where it could be his greatest work. You know, I don't want to like overhype. It's way too soon to overhype it, but I don't know. We're gonna find out. The reason they're using UE5 is because they can't use Decima for an Xbox game. I don't think it's that. I think it's because they're making a very different type of game with OD, and I don't know. They may have just figured that Decima might not be the best engine, unless it could be. It could be that. I mean, that wouldn't be shocking, right? If Sony's like, no, like, Kojima, we like you, bro, but no, we're not letting you. We're not letting you use Decima to make an Xbox published game. You know, that I could see that being the limit for Sony, because Microsoft is the one. Even if it does come to PlayStation, they're the ones publishing it. You think Physint's going to be his last game? It could be. I mean, I don't know. Kojima says he's going to make games until he dies, so I could see us. You know, he'll be the kind of person that lives to be 105. He's going to be out here directing games at 100 years old. Physint 4. They're going to make movies, comics, and a brand with a new game. Yeah, that's 100% what they're planning to do with this new game. They're going all in, man. They're going all in. Shadowlink with a $5 chat. Okay. Shadowlink. Damn it. He says, Rich Rod, do not be swayed by the naysayers. Your power is absolute. Only MBG stands above you. Don't fall for it, Rich Rod. Rich Rod, I think Shadowlink low-key wants me to take your mod chip. Let all fear him, knowing 908 are those he conquered. Don't fall for it, bro. Don't fan those flames. See, I'm telling you, Rich, be careful. They're manipulating you. I think Shadowlink wants you to get demodded so he can get modded. I think that's what I think. He says respect. Kojima added ray tracing to Decima, which Gorilla never put in. Are you? I guess you're right about that. Yeah. I have a black eye for my 60 seconds. Well, guys, we are going to talk about some Pragmata reviews. Okay. Rich, I'm telling you that's not how it works, bro. Like, I'm just flat out telling you that's not. If you want to F around and find out, Rich, go ahead. Don't forget Gaming Survivor. Don't forget. All right, we do need to talk about Pragmata, though. And guys, if you are enjoying the stream, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It helps the streams. And okay, sorry, Luna's being. You see Luna? Oh, she's blending in. You can't even see her. She's being weird. We need to talk about Pragmata because the reviews are here. And yeah, as we move into that, like I said, if you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button. Consider supporting, like Ray. Metal Gear Ray comes in. He says, all right, MBG, I'm going to get the party started. I'm starting the train. Metal Gear Ray, thank you, bro. He drops 5 memberships.
But that was
GS
some
is not
fancy
banned.
shooting. You're pretty good.
No, he still comes around. He was just saying that he's been getting busy in life. I mean, you know, lots of stuff going on. So he comes around when he can. But no, he was just here, I think, like last week. Ray, let me add those member gifts. Yeah, if you guys want to support the channel more directly, we are completely fan funded here. We're going to strive to hit 25 members. If we do, we'll feed the beast. And we're going to be doing a morning with the missus this Friday. Okay, so if you're not a member, consider becoming one. If you want to become a member, but you can't, you might get lucky. You might receive a membership gift. Just make sure you're opted in to receive one by clicking the icon at the top, the gift icon from Ray. Make sure you're opted in. But thank you, Ray. I do appreciate it, man. You predicted Pragmata will flop regardless of reviews. I don't know, man. People seem pretty impressed with the review scores. I'm impressed. I have to admit, like, I was not expecting Pragmata to review this well. I think it's sitting at like an 85 on Metacritic. Let me bring it up here. Hold on. Pragmata, Metacritic. Yeah, so there's 81 total reviews, which is a lot. And it's sitting at an 85, dude. It only has 3 mixed reviews. 78 positive, 3 mixed. That's pretty good, dude. Yeah, he knows. He knows. You think Pragmata looks like a 360 game? In a good way, though, I think. Capcom does it again. Dude, Capcom's on a run, dude. They're on a tear. I mean, it could still flop, you know. We don't know how it's going to sell. I think it looks like it's doing pretty well in the PlayStation Store, though. So what's really interesting to me about Pragmata is the amount of 100s and 95s it got. GameSpew gives it 100. So a 10 out of 10. They say Capcom has taken a gamble with Pragmata, blending together multiple genres to create something that feels fresh and unique. At the heart of it is hacking-infused third-person shooter combat, which remains engaging and exciting throughout. And when paired with a story that tugs on the heartstrings, the result is something rather special. Ultimately, Pragmata is not only Game of the Year material, but also one of the most exciting new IPs in recent years. Damn, dude. Like, I'm not too familiar with GameSpew, but that's some high praise, bro. That's some high praise right there. Straight up saying it's a Game of the Year material, but one of the best new IPs we've gotten in a long time. Hey, Poor Player. I don't know who, I'm not going to lie, I'm not too familiar with them either. They also gave it a 10 out of 10, saying Pragmata is Capcom's biggest swing at a new IP in years, and the wait was well worth it. Basing the entire combat loop around the real-time hacking minigame was a risk, but it stays engaging for the entire playthrough. I really hope Capcom gets to make a sequel because there's an amazing foundation here, and I'm not ready to leave Diana behind just yet. Radio Times, another 10 out of 10, saying, though I may have some reservations about the way it handles its story, Pragmata is short and sweet with a resonant message and an electrifying combat system that had me truly locked in a way few other games ever have. Region Free gives it a 10 out of 10, saying an innovative and bold genre cocktail that is packed with incredible set pieces and gameplay first joy. Pragmata is Capcom at its finest. Loot Level Chill gives it a 9.5 out of 10, saying despite very few minor complaints, Pragmata is one of Capcom's most interesting and enjoyable adventures to date. Game Watcher, 9.5 out of 10, saying it goes without saying that Pragmata is a terrific game and one of 2026's must-play titles. It fires on all cylinders and does not let you go, even after the credits roll. The frenetic action, charming characters, and striking visuals help bolster a creativity rarely seen in AAA titles. While it can play it safe in the story and settings, it is one of Capcom's best games this decade and a surefire Game of the Year contender in my book. So, dude, 2 of these reviews are straight up saying Game of the Year contender. Michael says, what's up, ponies? What's up, Michael? Luna, are you okay? Luna's freaking out. You see her eyes at the bottom there? She's like perfectly camoed with the with the sofa. You just see eyes, dude. All right, sorry. I get very distracted by my cats, man. You guys already know. Nicodemus, you're saying, so glad I got my copy pre-ordered. I did not pre-order this game. I might be a little bit. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna play it now. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing it reviewing this well, I'm like, okay. Because I was kind of on the fence with it, where I'm like, yeah, it seems pretty good. I played the demo and I liked it, but I wasn't like fully hooked onto it. But I'm like, there might be something here. But this is one of those instances where seeing these reviews, I think it might push me over the edge. Where it's like, my only problem is how close in proximity it's releasing to Saros. But apparently it's like a shorter game. That's another thing that, see, this is appealing to me, where I'm like, oh, wait, it's not long. It's not like a super long game. Kind of look for that these days. Crimson Desert is the best game so far this year. I mean, a lot of people feel that way, yeah. Let's continue on here with some of these reviews. PlayStation Universe gives it a 9.5 out of 10, saying Pragmata marks something truly special for Capcom, an experience that manages to marry action, conflict, and story into a cohesive whole that more than justifies the long wait for expectant fans. It juggles a variety of mechanics and miraculously blends them together. Every facet of this game is explored to its fullest, with still more room to grow. For all I can say in this review, Pragmata is very special. Critical Hits gives it a 9 out of 10, saying Pragmata is a miracle of the modern video game era with extremely experimental combat and a big budget game that works very well. It's not without minor stumbles along the way, such as a lack of world building in specific parts of the story that lacked cohesion, but none of that diminishes the brilliance of the combat and the intimate father-daughter story. For a first attempt at something new, the game succeeds admirably, and I sincerely hope it receives a sequel that further refines the concepts created here. Let's see. Gaming Bible gives it a 9 out of 10, saying Pragmata truly is a triumph. The mix of hacking and shooting forces you. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna I'm gonna let this play again.
Luke Cage actor just spoiled Daredevil Season 2. Kevin Feige is about to bring back slavery, bro. Also, where that Daredevil game?
Moonshot, how you just gonna end it like, also, is there a Daredevil game? Michael Wernick, we're looking for stallions. We're not ponies, we're stallions. We're Sony stallions. Dude, that's crazy. Moonshot, I haven't been paying attention, so I didn't know that the actor who plays Luke Cage spoiled Daredevil season 2. That's crazy. I don't think there's a Daredevil game. Daredevil has been teased by Insomniac a few times, but no Daredevil game yet. Don't know if it's ever going to happen. Moonshot, I'm sorry, bro. We got Wolverine, though. And eventually an X-Men game. So please be excited for that. Gaming Bible, 9 out of 10. Pragmata truly is a triumph. The mix of hacking and shooting forces you to find a rhythm in combat, and depending on what enemies are on the field and what equipment you have, the tempo can vary significantly. Combat never felt like it was outstaying its welcome, nor did it feel repetitive. The Cradle is an excellent setting, both in terms of story and environment variety, so while backtracking for collectibles felt like a pain at times, it was still rewarding to revisit those areas to see what I originally missed. Hugh and Diana really are a dynamic duo, and it was a pleasure to see their friendship develop. The humanity both of these characters bring to the plot is essential for the narrative to work, and it was refreshing to have protagonists that aren't carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders all the time. It made for higher stakes when the pair were in genuine danger, and levity during the story's quieter moments. The Gamer gave it a 9 out of 10. GameSpot gives it a 9 out of 10, saying this all led to a thrilling conclusion that tested my skills, stirred my heart, and left me wanting more. Pragmata offers a robust post-game with plenty to do, but I hope that's not the last I see of Hugh and Diana. This combination of sharp combat mechanics, rich strategic depth, and lovely storytelling doesn't come along often.
Side note, the actor that plays Faye is in Daredevil. She's pretty good. Same with that main character in Intergalactic. She's a good actress.
Yeah, I remember people mentioning that, the actress who plays Faye in God of War Ragnarok, people being like, oh, she's from Daredevil. And like, oh, okay. I know some people are really excited to see her, I'm assuming, reprise her role as Faye, in the upcoming Faye game. You're talking about Tati Gabriel, I think. Yeah, I haven't seen many things with her in it. I think I've seen like 2 things maybe. I don't remember if she was good or not. I don't know. I didn't really, because I think whatever I saw her in, she was playing like a side character. You know what? I watched that show You a while ago, and I think she was in that as a character. I think she played a pretty good role in that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Moonshot. How about that Faye game, man? Really, really curious. Really curious to see how people react. So she wasn't. Okay. I was wondering if I was getting it confused with something else. That show was good, by the way. Really like that show. She's an activist. Yeah, but most of them are these days, you know? Oh, yeah, I don't know that one, D'Angelo, the second one. Every actor's an activist. Oh, yeah, she was in the Last of Us show. Right. Oh, yeah, that's where I saw her most recently, I think. We'll see how she does in Intergalactic. I mean, what I'm more interested in finding out in Intergalactic are the side characters. And like her dynamic with them. I will say though, when we're talking about Pragmata, apparently that's one of the things that all these reviews are really highlighting is like apparently these characters, Hugh and Diana, are like really great. Which is awesome to hear, brand new characters. MBG, you like my Smith machine I posted? I'm ready to stomp out the bots. Rich, bro. I'm going to have, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to have them create fake accounts. I'll know who they are. You won't, Rich. I'll make them think they're coming in. I'm gonna give you a job to do, Rich. I'm gonna make him think he's doing something, you know? You got it. I'm checking the, let's see. That's actually really nice, dude. That's a really nice Smith machine, yeah. I'm a little bit jealous. Yeah, let me know how it is, bro. I like the plate. You got the green plates? Oh, Rich, I don't know, bro. I'm looking at your 45-pound plates. Green? I don't know, man. Talking a lot of shit out here for somebody who's got, you know, weight plates that are the same color as the Xbox brand. Just saying. Just saying. You got a and why you got that poster Master Chief on your wall, dude? What's going on? I'm confused. You're sending me mixed signal. All right. I'm trying to get as buff as you, dude. I'm not really that buff these days. I'm flattered though. Do I look buff? Do I look buff, Rich? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Can you do that? See that? See those pecs going? Yeah. I know that's what you aspire for. All right. What are we talking about? I didn't choose the plates. That's what they all say. Luna's acting like a freak, by the way. She's just running back and forth. Does the camera keep autofocusing? Does it? It normally doesn't do that. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I see what you're talking about. It is. It's like spazzing out. It's like pulsating, dude. Whoa. What's going on? Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. I wonder if it's because Luna's being a weirdo. I'll deactivate it and then activate it again, and we'll see what happens. Let me see. Does it seem? No. I'm trying to see what's causing it to do that. Why is somebody standing at your door? Oh, we got a ghost in here? I guess just let me know if it keeps doing it. I got a backup camera if need be. Luna, you know what? I'm getting a little freaked out. I'm not going to lie. Luna's acting so weird. Between the weird camera glitch and now Luna's acting like a freak. And she never acts like a freak. Ever. You should watch an old Corey Barlog interview for God of War 2018 or when it came out. He's been teasing the Faye game since the beginning. I've been seeing people mention that. All right, here, I'm going to... Just going to turn that light off and see if it changes anything. Is it fixed? All right, I think it might be fixed. Maybe it was that lamp that was doing it. Michael, why you got to point stuff like that out for me? You know how I am. Now I'm just going to fixate on it. Hit the drums. Nah, I'm going to leave him be for now. Animals can sense ghosts. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Luna never, she's just like running around like crazy, running in circles and shit, running back and forth. I'm like, she never does that, ever, let alone in the same room that I'm in. So she's acting like a weirdo. I saw the ghost comment and then he said something about ghosts. Crazy how that works, right? No, Rich, no. Are you surprised Kojima hasn't still announced this Avenger team for OD yet? Oh, you mean like all the actors and stuff, all the roles? I mean, it's interesting because it does seem like he already casted the role of the main protagonist. At least that's what it seems like. All right, I'm sorry. I'm losing my grip here, guys. I'm losing my grip here. Is Mrs. MBG and everybody good? I've always been told animals can sense when something's wrong. Yeah, I mean, for now, I mean, Mrs. MBG, she has a bit of a cavity problem right now in one of her teeth. She has to go to the dentist to get that sorted out. But outside of that, no, I think everything's good. The directors for each chapter or doors for the OD game. Yeah, I forgot that he pretty much confirmed that, right? That there's going to be a different director for each segment. I'm telling you, like, OD is just going to be a movie. It's just not even a movie. It's just going to be a show. It's just going to be a show. I think, like, we're going to find out Kojima tricked Microsoft into just letting him make a show. Basically. You think the peak Kojima era was between PS1 and PS3? All right, well, before we get too far away from Pragmata, Gaming Bolt gives Pragmata a 9 out of 10, saying it's been a long time coming, yes, but it's fair to say Pragmata is worth the wait. Looking for... You know what's crazy? When I scroll through Metacritic, I like don't recognize hardly any of these outlets, man. Hardly any of them. We have one here though from Games Radar Plus. They give it an 8 out of 10. They say Pragmata is nostalgia wrapped in a shiny new space suit with plenty of cool tricks up its pressurized sleeve. It's good to see Capcom returning to its quirky action beat with an impressive host of weaponry, upgrades, combat hacks, and base building as the sci-fi adventure moves through beautifully conceptualized biomes. The visual and stylistic elements definitely give me deja vu at times, and I could do without the heavy-handed themes battering me over the head, but beneath all that polished titanium sits a profound tale of humanity I'll not soon forget. Push Square gives it an 8 out of 10. And they say Pragmata knows its strengths and leans into those hard. And the result is a cracking action game that just feels brilliant to play. One could argue it could do with a little more variety throughout its campaign, but the game's unique hack and shoot combat is so fun and so satisfying to pull off, you won't mind doing it over and over again. A refreshingly straightforward structure and charming dual leads round things out, but it's the inventive and tactile action where it truly sings. VGC gives it an 8 out of 10. They say there's something charmingly simple about Pragmata. It's an 8-hour linear third-person shooter with a charming, if fairly generic story. We used to get dozens of these games a year. Now, with this production value, there's such a rarity that it's a breath of fresh air. So they say it's 8 hours. What do you think? It's pretty short. It's definitely on the shorter side. I don't know if there's any negative reviews. We just got a couple more here. We got IGN 8 out of 10. They say, I know it's a bit cliche to say at this point, but it certainly applies here. Pragmata is a video game-ass video game. Its old school approach to level design and pacing provide a decent foundation for what it does best, heavy, satisfying shooting, and a unique real-time puzzle system that deepens its action. It's not exactly concerned with being a storytelling powerhouse alongside that, however, and it can be a little disappointing to see the untapped potential as it relies on worn tropes, even if its duo can be charming at times. But Capcom focused on the best lessons of the action side of modern Resident Evil games and matched that with a fresh hacking mechanic we haven't really seen before. And even with some small frustrations, that combo was so good that I naturally wanted to keep playing past the credits to complete every leftover challenge. Pragmata's hack and shoot formula absolutely rules, and I hope Capcom builds on those ideas in the future. Eurogamer gives it an 8 out of 10, saying emboldened by years of success, Capcom's risky 360 era shooter dares to tackle sci-fi shooter convention in a profoundly experimental gamble. Game Informer, 8 out of 10. Gamers often complain that big publishers refuse to roll the dice on new properties with unique systems. I give Pragmata big props for doing precisely that and experimenting with something unconventional. The story and structure as a whole feel a bit by the numbers, but the beautiful futuristic visuals and inventive battle system are solid wins. So everybody's really highlighting the gameplay. Like, people are saying good things about the characters and the story, but the gameplay seems to be the thing that is getting most of the praise here. Let me refresh this and go. There's not a single negative review. So let me go all the way to the bottom. The lowest reviews on the list, see what they're saying. Because we read a lot of really, really positive ones. Game Rant, so far, is the lowest, giving it a 7 out of 10. Saying Pragmata certainly starts strong, but it doesn't have quite enough to stay completely engaging all the way to the end credits. It's a highly polished sci-fi game with fun combat and exploration, but its lackluster story and characters keep it from reaching its full potential. Still, it's exciting to have a completely original IP from Capcom, and while Pragmata doesn't live up to the high bar set by some of the studio's other efforts, it's mostly a worthwhile adventure. So that's the lowest review, and they gave it a 7. IGN France also gives it a 7 out of 10, saying an original and engaging gameplay concept built around a strong dual character idea, but quickly dragged down by repetition, lack of challenge, and a weak narrative that prevents Pragmata from truly taking off. And then Game Reactor UK also gave it a 7 out of 10, saying Pragmata simply works too well not to recommend it, and the magic lost in the empty spaces may not be as obvious to you as it is to me. That's why I'm giving in and recommending Pragmata on the strength of its strong gameplay profile and well-constructed loops and structures, even though part of me would have liked there to be a bit of an edge beneath the cool exterior alongside all the great design. So there you go. I mean, that's the worst. Those three I just read to you. That's the worst has to offer in terms of, the lowest reviews. Story seems mediocre. I don't know. I mean, I never got the vibe with Pragmata that it was going to be some kind of, really heavy-hitting story that's trying to subvert people's expectations. And, I mean, maybe it does have a message it wants to communicate, but this week is stacked with games replaced Mouse PI, Pragmata. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I was all eyes on Mouse PI for Hire, and I think the reviews for that are coming out tomorrow. But yeah, seeing the reviews for Pragmata, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely on my radar now, man. It does seem like it's gonna be kind of a must play. I like the fact that it's short too. I like that. Because to me, it's more about the quality of the experience. I mean, one reviewer said they beat it in 8 hours. I'm sure that's not to 100%, but let's see. Yeah, still holding on to an 85 at 81 reviews. Interestingly, so it's got an 85 on PS5 and Xbox. It's got an 88 on PC with 27 critic reviews. It's reviewing at a 90 on the Switch 2, though. So yeah, I'm assuming the reason why it's reviewing higher on the Switch 2 is because it's got way less reviews. But apparently it's well optimized for the Switch 2. So that's good. Yeah, the question is if it's going to sell well. I mean, it clearly, I think it's safe to say a lot of money was dumped into it. There's a new rumor that just came out 15 minutes ago. It comes from, well, I don't even know. It just says rumor. NVIDIA is negotiating to buy a big PC-oriented company. Oh, here's an interesting one. Microsoft has reportedly eased the pressure on its Xbox gaming division. This comes from Jez Corden. Okay. In another week of Xbox and games news, we're still poring over the big changes at Xbox. Quote, one thing I've heard recently is that Xbox has reduced margin pressure from the top down. This has given Xbox extra breathing room to work on features and systems that aren't directly tied to profitability. End quote, dude. That's, you know what would be the craziest thing? I mean, it would prove that, man, I really was totally wrong about Phil Spencer, where I've been the one telling you guys, like, I don't think it's Phil's fault entirely. I've always gotten this idea or this vibe. Oh, hold on.
I'm on a business trip from today till Friday. Nothing better than watching your stream after a 10-hour shift and eat some pizza in the hotel.
Oh, hell
Smiley
yeah,
face
dude.
emoji.
Titus, I'm glad you can enjoy the stream, bro. Some pizza, living it up. No, I hear you, dude. I hear you. Thank you, and I appreciate that you're taking time even after all that to drop a direct donation, man. I very much appreciate that. What kind of pizza did you get? Pizza. What kind of pizza did you get? The pineapple, pepperoni. I mean, dude, come on, pepperoni. You know what I like to do? I like to get. Do you guys like Elio's pizza? I'll make like a sheet of Elio's pizza and I'll just put pepperoni on it. It's like hits the spot. There's a good thing about Elio's is it's just a single sheet. It's like 3 small slices, so you can't really overeat it. Because I have a problem with pizza. See, now you're going to get me talking about pizza, Titus. What was I just saying? It's at an 87 on OpenCritic. That's even better. How do we know that they dumped a lot of money into it? I mean, just based off of how long. Like, the biggest thing is when a game is in development for a long time and it doesn't get, like, shelved or scrapped, they're paying the developers a salary every year. That's the most expensive part of, that is like by far the most expensive part of game development. So considering how long this game's been in development, I mean, the budget might not be as high as we think, but Rich Rider saying MBGI deploy sometime within the next 10 months. I hope wherever I'm at, it's the evening time. Damn, Rich. I hope so. Wait. You hope it's the evening time? I was going to say, like, I hope so too, but don't you want me to... When... Okay, wait, sorry. No, you're right. You're right. I had that backwards. My bad. Yes. Yes, so you can be here for every stream. That's just what we need, Rich. That's just what we need, bro. Maybe Phil had some good ideas in the beginning, but it's looking like they needed to change. You were saying was not all Phil's fault, and then pizza. I'm so sorry. This is why I can't get my viewership up, bro, because, like, I just can't focus. I can't focus. Like, I think people want to listen to me but I don't let them. Like, I'm torturing them. Every time I'm about to, like, all right, here we go. He's about to say something juicy. Is okay, he's talking about pizza. It's Titus's fault. Just kidding. Just kidding. Not at all. Big Uncharted rumor from Alir. Just now, JMR? New stuff now? Well, all I was going to say about Phil is like, dude, I've been under the impression for the longest time that Phil is messing up so bad. And, you know, Sarah Bond and Phil, they're messing up so bad because the pressure is too great on them. And they're cracking under the pressure. They can't keep up. The idea that the moment Phil and Sarah Bond are replaced, like, the pressure is eased, that would, I mean, dude, is it possible that the level of incompetence was truly that high? Oh boy, that would be shocking. Like, that would actually be shocking. It's like, oh my God. Like, it's so much worse than I thought. But I know a lot of you guys wouldn't be surprised. I'm eating two different kinds. Tuna and ham, but not together. Yo, tuna pizza. I never really heard of that. That's a first, Titus. Tuna and ham pizza together? Bro's crazy. All right, hold on. We got like a new leak. So Daniel RPK is teasing the second Naughty Dog game to indeed be an Uncharted game. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty clear to me by now. I think we're just going to continue to see it reinforced. I saw some kind of rumor yesterday. MBG Mag spoke on this. It's a strategy to get people out of the company they don't like. Oh my God, man. I mean, I believe it. I totally believe it. That's... Yeah, you know, that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, where it's like, we're going to put you in an impossible position. You can stay if you want. We can't force you out. Go ahead. But yeah, the fact that Asha Sharma is being treated like, take your time, do what you got to do. No big, you know, we just want you to, you know, we're going to give you all the support you need. That's crazy. But good. That's good though. Like, if they're serious about trying to turn things around for Xbox, they're going to need to approach it that way. They're going to need to understand, like, you can't really rush and force anything. It's going to take time. Very interesting. Very interesting. Tuna pizza is very common in Europe. Yeah, I had no idea. This is news to me, Titus. I appreciate you informing me, though. I'll never look at pizza the same way again. I'll never look at Europeans the same way again, Titus. See what you did? You really want Physint to be a PS6 exclusive? I want to see what the PS6 can do. I think it will be. It just, I mean, if there's any game that is going to be, that should be a PlayStation 6 exclusive, it's that one. Xbox's Asha Sharma speaks on camera for the first time as Microsoft Gaming CEO. Did she say anything interesting? Oh, I saw this. My interview with Phil Spencer and Xbox CEO Asha Sharma. Dude, this is so awkward. It's painfully awkward. I'm not watching that again. It's like a minute and a half. Where he's like, this dude's like talking to Phil Spencer. It's at like some kind of gaming convention or something. And it was so funny because did you guys see this? Maybe I'll bring it up. It's not the content creator, so I don't know who this is. I think he's known. I'm not sure. Who is this? Mr. Rightway. I'm not too familiar with him, but I just feel like the energy between Phil Spencer and Asha Sharma's so weird, bro. It's so weird. She said that she's sending out Helix merch boxes. No, she did not say that. I think what made it so funny is, well, I don't know. I might have to bring this up when we watch it. Hold on, let me it's not long, it's like a minute. Why am I holding my arm up like this? Why am I doing that? Pizzas only go to pepperoni, plain, meat lovers, sausage, veggies. All right, hold on.
The light.
What event was this at? I don't know where this was, but it was from April 11th. So let's see. Hold on. I'll move this over here. Wait, no, it's the wrong one. Shrink that down a little bit.
Okay, how's that? So we can look better. All right, guys, you never know who you run into. This man's retired like...
Dude, Phil, bro, like, he just always has this look. I mean, has Phil, he just doesn't seem comfortable around fans. I'm not going to lie. Like, Phil has never seemed comfortable around fans. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I don't know, this was like April or something. Oh, was it GDC? Okay, so I guess it was from like last month.
Me, I'm retired from the military. He's retired from the Xbox.
That's my name, see?
Look, hold on. Oh, assist.
Bro, there's no way. He put his name as Asha Assistant. Oh.
Asha's assistant.
You are Asha's assistant?
That's my job.
How you enjoying retirement, man?
But she's right here. Asha's right here.
Is she right where?
Dude, he's literally like, I'm retired. Talk to Asha. Don't talk to me. Talk to Asha. And he's like, she's right here. She's right here. I got her right here. Oh, it's funny.
Oh, look, Asha.
This is funny to me, dude. I don't know. It's just so funny because I feel like there's like she's like, just don't bring me over. I don't want to be on. She's got a nice smile though. She does look very approachable, doesn't she?
This is right here. So, ladies and gentlemen,
You're on video.
Look, see that? Oh, it's on video. We got Madam Xbox over here, Madam.
No, you know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. She's so scared about Xbox's PR, bro. She's like, I'm not supposed to be doing nothing. They told me, like, I can't say shit. Who's the guy in the red hat? It's a YouTuber. I haven't heard of him before. His channel's called Mr. Rightway. I guess he's like a gaming YouTuber. But yeah, what I think was just kind of funny about this is I could be wrong, but I feel like, I don't know. I just get the vibe from Asha Sharma, like, I'm not supposed to be saying shit, man. They gave me explicit orders not to say nothing about nothing.
Madam Xbox, come on in. How you doing?
Xbox.
Madam Xbox, how you doing?
I'm great.
Are you enjoying your new role?
I'm enjoying it. First GDC.
First GDC, mine too.
Oh,
Is this your
really?
first one?
This is my first GDC. Yes, it
Where'd you
is.
get the Mario hat?
Nintendo store. It's Mario Day.
Dude, Phil Spencer's funny, dude. I think Phil Spencer's having a hard time giving a shit. Not about this guy, not like that, but like he's done, dude. He's like, why are you wearing the Mario hat, huh? The fuck? What gives? Like, why are you coming up to me in a fucking Mario hat, bro? I'm telling you, Phil Spencer, he has like this subtle like agitation. He's so done, dude. He's been done. He's been done. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to celebrate Mario Day.
Nice.
We had to come here, Mario Day on Xbox, but you know, we all love video games. This was all about, right? So we want to wish you success. We want to wish you, thank you. Welcome to the community. I know you got a big role ahead of you, but I know you're going to do a good job.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate you and continue success on your retirement.
Thank you, sir.
I love the Xbox 360 generation.
Okay, I just want to say this is the funniest moment, dude. This is the funniest moment. Hold on, ready?
Xbox 360 generation. That was just amazing generation.
I loved it too.
Yeah. So
I also love this generation.
hey, we love Odyssey.
Dude, Phil is so done. He's like, this man just came up to me in a Mario hat telling me he loved the 360 generation. Dude, that's some funny shit. I know that was not intentional. Like the dude was just genuinely trying to be respectful. Like, I love the 360, man. And Phil like had nothing to do with it. He's like, Phil's like, I love this generation too. But what about this generation? Oh, that was so funny, man. That's some funny shit.
We like
That's
games,
right.
right?
We like games.
We like games. Games everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's all right. So what are you gonna do? Go fishing? What you gonna do?
Bro, the way Phil's looking at him like, you like PlayStation games too, huh? Is that what you're gonna tell me next? You like PlayStation games? You wanna tell me how much you love God of War? I'm sorry. I'm like getting way too much out of this video. It's not that serious. It's just, oh man.
Snowboarding.
Snowboarding.
Yeah, yeah. No fishing.
No fishing.
No, I like fish, but I don't fish.
No fish. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No fishing.
No
Wait,
fishing.
he's snowboarding.
Hey, we love Odyssey. We like
That's
games,
right.
right?
We like games.
We like games. Games everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's all right. So what are you gonna do? Go fishing? What you gonna do?
Snowboarding.
Snowboarding.
Yeah, yeah. No fishing.
No fishing.
No,
All
I
right.
like fish, but I don't fish.
No fish. Okay. Well, let's get a picture. But thank
That's
you so much,
cute,
man.
Thank you, man.
Let's get a picture.
It's so crazy to me to think that that Phil's just out there snowboarding. That's his retirement. He's like, you know what? I'm just snowboarding every day. You know what? Good for him. Good for him. That's cool. Snowboarding's cool. That was funny though. I like this generation too. Yeah, good for you, Phil. I bet you do. All right. Well, there you go. I don't know that I would say that I don't know that was much of an interview with Asha Sharma. You know, it's funny. She clearly, I just think what I took note of with that is she clearly was not allowed to give interviews. You know, PR is really serious about that type of shit. It's like, you are not, no. And he's just like pulling her over, like, hey, so we going back to he's like, yo, we going back to exclusives. That would have been fun. Dude, the PR team would have been all over him being like, delete that right now. You're not leaving until you delete that. All right, what the hell were we supposed to be talking about, bro? God of War? Phil's done. He's just going around. He just wants to mess with everybody. Yeah. Yeah, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. Very much appreciate that. Well, that's interesting. There was an article written up about this. But that's it. I mean, that was the extent of it. Let's see. Oh, okay. So here's the next thing we're going to go over. I think you guys are going to find this pretty interesting. I'm actually going to move myself back over here again.
I bought a PlayStation Portal 2 weeks ago on sale before the price increase for this trip and will try it out this week. Smiley face emoji. Hopefully the Wi-Fi works out.
Well, that was a good move, Titus, to get it before the price increase. Because, yeah, $50 increase. What was up with that? Like, I feel like with the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, we kind of understood, like, okay, the price of components and stuff. But there's, like, nothing in a Portal. It's just like a tablet. It's like an Xperia tablet with a cut-in-half controller. So I don't think they had to increase the price of the Portal. But I hope it works out for you too, man. Yeah, that's being out, on a business trip. That's a great time to make use of it. I hope it works for you. You have to let me know. I think there was some kind of update to improve the bit rate of the Portal as well. So you should, if you have the latest update, you should get better image quality as long as the internet's good. But I also want to mention, because I kind of forgot about this, again, there's rumors of a state of play happening. Not saying this will be announced, but keep in mind there's a rumor. I think it popped up earlier this year that there's an OLED model of the Portal that Sony is apparently going to announce. So we haven't heard much about that, but that's apparently a thing that's coming. So, it could get announced at the next state of play. But I want to bring this picture up. Speaking of pricing, and thank you, Titus, for the direct donation as well, buddy. I appreciate it. So check this out. This is a chart. Hold on just a little. This is what Moore's Law is Dead came up with. He was basically trying to figure out the pricing of these upcoming devices. And Corey the Legend Landiga comes in out of nowhere. And he drops 5 more member gifts for you guys. Corey.
I'm no hero. Never was. Never will be.
As always, Corey, thank you so much for that, man. That brings us up to 10. Yeah, we're still making our way, guys. We'll see if we can get there before the end of today's stream. We got some time. So 10 members on the day. Corey drops 5 more for you guys. He says, "What's up, bro?" What's up, Corey? I was thinking about doing, like, I set up my camera back here. I'm like, maybe I'll try to actually do a cat cam, but it wasn't working out too great. It just wasn't a great angle. And none of the cats are even sleeping up there. But we still have time to feed the beast. Luna was here earlier. I don't know where she went. What do I think will happen with Bungie, with Marathon flopping hard sales numbers? Well, I mean, I'll be honest, man. I think I think Marathon it's pretty much cooked, man. Like, and I'm not saying that I'm saying that as somebody who's playing it. I'm over it, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep playing or not. I keep just doing random rounds, but God, man. The thing is, apparently Marathon costs like $200 to $250 million to develop. And that's just absolutely absurd, considering the content that's in this game. Like, I'm not saying there isn't content. There is content in this game, but nowhere near enough to justify a $200 to $250 million budget. That's insane. Like, that's absolutely insane. So when you look at that and you consider the fact that it sold maybe 1.2 million copies and it was being sold at $40, not even $70. And the majority of those sales came from Steam, where Sony has to give a cut to Valve. Ooh, dude, like, this is such a money sink, bro. Like, Sony lost so much money on this game. It's crazy. Mustafa, I'm going to read that in 1 second. Now, what's going on there? Yeah, Corey, so just to catch, I mean, I actually didn't even talk about it yet, but it's kind of a catch up from what we were talking about yesterday. Tom Henderson, very reliable insider. He said yesterday that that he was told by a source in March that the next mainline God of War game is scheduled to be announced in April. And here we are, pretty much the middle of April. We're hearing that there's a state of play happening this week, potentially. I'm not saying get your hopes up. I'm just saying keep your eyes peeled, This is what he said. Now, Tom, to be clear, Tom Henderson didn't come out saying it's happening, get ready for it to get announced. He's just saying he was told in March, April was when Sony was planning to announce it. So we're just going to have to see if this state of play is happening, and we're going to have to see if there's any chance God of War could show up. Mustafa, you're saying Scoop, Xbox Game Pass, quote, has become too expensive, end quote, says Microsoft's new Xbox chief in an internal memo. Asha Sharma wants a better value equation for Xbox players. Who's leaking that scoop, Mustafa? So, yeah, that's interesting. If this is coming from a reputable source, that's coming the day after we're hearing that they're thinking about removing Call of Duty from Game Pass. Oh, man. Yeah, she's coming in to make all the moves that need to be made, bro. Tom, it was via Tom Warren. Well, thank you for that. All right, we'll go over this sheet in a second. Let me go see what's going on here. I should just title this stream Press X to leak. That sounds weird. All right, here. Is it going to let me read this? Okay, yeah. So this is coming from The Verge, written up by Tom Warren. Microsoft's new chief, Asha Sharma, has signaled that Xbox Game Pass pricing is about to change. In an internal memo to Xbox employees obtained by The Verge, Sharma admits that, quote, Game Pass has become too expensive for players and Microsoft needs a better value equation. Quote, Game Pass is central to gaming value on Xbox. It's also clear that the current model isn't the final one, says Sharma. Short term, Game Pass has become too expensive for players, so we need a better value equation. Long term, we will evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system, which will take time to test and learn around. Microsoft hiked the price of Game Pass Ultimate to $30 per month last year, 50% increase. The company tried to justify the price hike with a variety of upgrades across all of its Xbox Game Pass tiers, but the cost increase clearly has taken a toll on Game Pass. I understand that part of the cost increase for Game Pass was down to Microsoft's decision to add Call of Duty into the subscription service. I reported nearly 2 years ago that Microsoft had been debating whether to put new releases of Call of Duty into Game Pass, with concerns from some at the company that, at the time, the revenue generated from typical Call of Duty sales would be undermined by Game Pass. Microsoft went on to add Call of Duty into Game Pass in the summer of 2024. Over the weekend, Windows Central's Jez Corden hinted that Microsoft might be about to take Call of Duty out of Game Pass. Quote, if they take Call of Duty out of Game Pass this year, which is a possibility from what I've heard, I think it will kind of reveal the cracks in the strategy. Possibly. Asha Sharma references the, quote, online chatter about rumors of Microsoft changing Game Pass pricing and says she'll go deeper with Xbox employees next week. I wouldn't expect any immediate price changes in the coming days, but it certainly seems that Sharma is aware of the Game Pass pricing issues and is going to be addressing them. Yeah, I mean, here's my prediction. I think in the coming weeks, they're going to have to make this clear before Modern Warfare 4 is revealed. I would assume Modern Warfare 4 is going to be revealed at the June showcase for Xbox. I think they're going to announce Call of Duty is no longer a day one game. But like I said, they're also going to announce a price decrease because of that. To me, this is Asha Sharma. It's the beginnings of her kind of walking back and undoing what Phil did, and what others in the company have done, where, You know, they went, it's like we talked about yesterday. They went all in with Game Pass, dude. Like to a point where like literally everything is in the name of getting more Game Pass subscribers. But I think after a few years of putting Call of Duty Day 1 into Game Pass and realizing that this is not moving the needle, like you're giving great value to the people who are subscribed to Game Pass, but you've increased the price by 50%. You've increased the price to a point where the value proposition for most people is now kind of gone. You know, like if you're a hardcore gamer, hardcore Game Pass user, hardcore Xbox user, you might still see the value proposition there. But to the average person, they're going to look at something and be like, oh, I get Call of Duty and these games day one. Nice. How much is it? $30 a month. They're like, oh, yeah, I don't know about that. It's expensive. You know, you're going to pay for the games that you're getting, basically. It seems like she might be trying to just go back to what Game Pass used to be, you know, where, yeah, you're not getting Call of Duty. And she mentions, like, you know, testing different things, making it more flexible. The only reason they would be willing to do this is if they've kind of, I don't say given up. I don't think they've given up on Game Pass. Clearly they haven't. But I think they've given up on trying to make Game Pass the be-all, end-all of what they do in gaming. That's my guess. I think that's kind of what Asha Sharma is signaling here, that like during the Phil Spencer era, everything was done to try to make Game Pass a success and nothing worked. You know, it's fine for what it is. It's a, you know, but now I think they have to revert back to a place where Sony is, where Sony only ever treated PlayStation Plus as a supplemental situation, you know, where it's like, it's great. You know, we can build out PlayStation Plus. We can add new tiers. We can mess around with it, you know, and that's fine. But at no point did PlayStation Plus ever even remotely come close to replacing what the priority was for Sony, which was we sell games. Like, we want you to buy games. You know, and I'm just trying to imagine like how they're going to do it. I mean, I assume they'll just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm thinking they'll do it a couple weeks before the Xbox showcase. That's my guess. Last week it was said that Xbox was doing another tier for Game Pass that won't include Call of Duty and be less expensive. I mean, I could be totally wrong. You know, they're probably thinking of different things they could do. They could just, it's a tough one. It's a tough one if they do this, but they could offer an even more expensive tier. And I don't know. That's going to be rough, man. We're like, yeah, we're still keeping Call of Duty in Game Pass, but it kind of has its own separate tier now. And it's like $40 a month or some crazy shit like that. They could do that, but I don't know. The problem, in my opinion, here is it's kind of, Jez Corden did kind of touch on it. He was saying that Call of Duty being in Game Pass kind of hurts Call of Duty a little bit too, you know, where like, you know, people have just been conditioned to view Call of Duty as like, this is a game you buy. And they've kind of eroded that to a certain extent where they didn't actually have to do that. So I think they might just be prepared to try to undo this. That's my guess. Thoughts on the rumor of Disney, their desire to buy Epic Games? It'd be, I don't know. It'd be a bit much. If Helix is a PC, they can't charge for online anymore. Day one is the only benefit to paying monthly. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing we'll have to see when we get to the, you know, when it's time to cross that bridge with Project Helix. MBG just approved the proof for the laser engraving. Awesome, dude. Yeah, Whiskey, I'm looking forward to it, bro. I should, if everything goes according to plan, hopefully it does. We should. I'm hoping there isn't going to be a delay. There might be a delay. Just be prepared, but I'm aiming to try to have a P.O. box open by the end of the month. Worst case scenario, it gets pushed back a little bit further, but it's coming. I promise. It's going to happen. Hopefully, yeah, take your time, Whiskey. There's no rush, bro, but I like it, man. I like the way it's coming out. We all know the bulk of money comes from microtransactions, not necessarily game sales. Yeah, that's true too, but my whole thing with Game Pass is it just seems like Microsoft has been really struggling to make it profitable, you know? They PO Box, I hear you. Hear you. But yeah, you don't think people that play Call of Duty, they don't subscribe to Game Pass? $1,000 for PS6. Stop begging for lower price. Careful with that PO box. I'm just gonna give my home address. Yeah, be the easiest way. Well, yeah, guys, I'm just letting you know now. When I open my PO box, it's gonna be in another state. So I'm only gonna be visiting it monthly, maybe bi-monthly. So don't be thinking that you know where I live. Okay, it's gonna be the next 2 or 3 states. Not 2 or 3. No, it's gonna be in another state. So I live right in the middle of like, I don't know, like right on the edge. So I'm like basically I just got to drive a couple miles in either direction and I'm in a new state. So yeah. Yeah. They need to set the goal to 50 million and budget accordingly, forget 100 million subs like they wanted. Yeah, I think their ambition with Game Pass was just too misguided, you know, it's too lofty. And it just goes to I mean, again, I start to wonder like how much of this was just Phil Spencer overpromising and under-delivering for the board of Microsoft. It definitely could have been that. You know, Phil could have been pitching all this stuff, making it sound like this is going to be like we're going to do it. And it just was like, no. Maybe Asha Sharma will be different in that. I don't know. I am curious to see what the Xbox era under Asha Sharma looks like because she definitely gives a completely different vibe from anybody else that's been. I mean, we haven't heard too much from her, but she gives a different vibe, clearly leaning into the whole fandom thing, which is fine. But from a more business oriented standpoint, I'm very curious to see what type of decisions she makes because I don't know. I think she has like this big smile, you know, she looks really friendly. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, though, she's probably like the most cutthroat business person out here. Where I'm just curious to see what type of decisions she makes compared to what we saw with Phil and Sarah Bond. MBG, if you give your home address, you'll have 200 people sitting in your lawn asking questions about leaks and rumors. Yeah, I'll just be hosting it live daily outside. Yeah, bring your own chair, bring your own beer. What could go wrong? What could go wrong, bro? $1,000. Well, the whole reason I had this chart up on screen is because Moore's Law is Dead recently broke down everything. And these are the prices, seemingly. So the most interesting one you're going to want to look at here, as we're looking at this chart, is if you go to the bottom, there's the MSRP, EST, and then there's the estimated MSRP, and then there's the MSRP with a 30% tariff. One of the things that Moore's Law is Dead was explaining is that what a lot of people don't seem to realize is that if there's anything that's really going to inflate the price of the consoles by the time the PS6, that is, by the time it comes out and the handheld, is the tariffs. You know, everybody thinks it's the RAM, but the RAM's already cooling down. So if you look at the PS5 disk drive in the year 2026, we're looking at the APU die, the board, cooling, SSD, RAM, total BOM, $507. But if you look at where we are now, it's $650. And he's placing that on the 30% tariff. The PS6. So what's interesting is he throws in, I want to point this out here. He has a fourth tier here. He throws in the PS6S. the PS6S is not real, but Moore's Law, he seems, I don't know if he's convinced, but he really thinks Sony should take the APU of the handheld and just make an S home console. Because if you look here now, I mean, it's an interesting idea, because if you look at these prices, you look at the bottom. If Sony did a S model of the PS6, they could potentially come in at $400, but even on the highest end, they would come in cheaper than the current PS5 disc model. But yeah, it's risky. But when you look at the handheld, it's naturally going to be more expensive because you have to factor in the screen and the battery. This to me is also interesting though, the pricing of the handheld, because if you look at the bottom here, the estimated and with the 30% tariff, the pricing of the handheld compared to the home console. See, this is just where something's got to give here, dude. Because even when you look at, the PS6 Orion, that's the home console. When you look at that, even when you just look at the MSRP estimated without the 30% tariff, like $750, bro. I'm sorry, but that, I just feel like that's too much. I feel like Sony will still sell PS6s, obviously, at that price point. But that's too much. Like, what? Like, think about it. And then if you're factoring in a 30% tariff at the time it launches, almost, I mean, it's not 1,000, but it's $950. I mean, what fucking difference does it make at that point? I gotta be honest. Like $650, $1K, what's the difference? You probably have to pay the extra $50 for a disk drive or the stand anyway.
I just set a picture in the Discord general chat regarding the PlayStation Portal, and the Wi-Fi is strong enough for streaming your video and playing.
Oh. Well, let me see. Oh shit. Yo, Titus, you got the setup, bro. You got that's so weird. I'm looking at my stream while on my stream on my Discord. Portal looks so good. Like, I see you got that carrying. I think I had the same carrying case or had the same carrying case. That's dedication though, man. I appreciate it. Titus is out here. He's oh, hold on. Detective Seeds just said there will be no PlayStation 6 Lite, just the PS6, the handheld, and the upcoming OLED Portal. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a PS6 Lite or a PS6S. The hacking group is now selling the Rockstar data breach at $200,000, seemingly. Yo, what do you think they hacked, bro? Come on, they're willing to sell it for $200K. What do you think they got? Ray, thank you, by the way. If you guys want to join the Discord, Ray dropped the Discord link. And Titus, thank you for the direct donations, man. I very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Gotta get that gaming in while on your business trip. Gotta get the MBG watch time in. See, Corey wants to feed the beast. I'll hold out a little bit longer. I'll encourage you guys, if you want to feed the beast, we're going to try to get to 25. We're at 10 so far. So we're close to halfway there. If we don't hit the 25 by the end of the stream, I ain't giving them nothing. I ain't feeding nobody nothing. Just kidding. Do you think Sony will develop a handheld exclusive games to try to make the handheld more appealing? No. No, there will be zero reason to do that. There will be no reason. Here's what I do think is going to happen, though. You ready? So we were talking about Physint, right? Will Physint be a PlayStation 6 exclusive? Assuming Physint doesn't come out till 2030, 2031, my answer is yes. I think it will be a PS6 exclusive. However, it will run on the handheld. See what I'm saying? Like, that's the plan. That's the plan right there. Where, even if even if Sony does walk away from the PS5 with some of their games, the handheld, I mean, for all intents and purposes, man, like the handheld is going to be a PS6 portable. Like that's basically what it's going to be. You know, play PS5 games, PS4 games, obviously, but I don't think people quite understand that the idea, like what Sony's trying to set up here, is that. So we could run through like a hypothetical scenario. Let me get this image off here. A hypothetical scenario where Sony does their PlayStation 6 reveal event next year, June 2027. And one of the things they do is reveal a bunch of first-party games. Venom, Uncharted, God, what else? I mean, some kind of remake. I don't know. You just throw whatever you want out here. A new Astrobot game. Imagine all these games are not releasing on PlayStation 5. They're PlayStation 6 exclusives. They will still be playable on the PlayStation handheld. They'll be playable on the PlayStation handheld. A boss cameo. Yeah, I'm surprised he isn't down here yet, man. I know he must hear me talking. I won't lie. I was eating some grilled chicken earlier. I gave him a little bit. Just a little bit. So maybe he's too full. He's never too full for treats, bro. He's never too full. They could take a $100 loss and make it up with software and PS Plus, launch it at $650. I mean, they could do that. I don't think they will, though. I just don't imagine Sony taking a loss. But MBG, yes, you're correct. But as an extra feature, the handheld allows players to download the game on the PlayStation Store. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the idea, right? It's like if you buy a PlayStation 6 and let's just say you buy a PlayStation 6, Venom is a PS6 only game. I don't think it will be, but let's just, we'll go with a new Astro game. Let's say Astrobot 2, launch title for the PS6, PlayStation 6 exclusive. You buy it digitally. You're playing it at home. And you say, okay, I'm going to buy the PlayStation handheld now. Yeah, the idea is when you if you bought that game digitally on the PlayStation 6, you also basically bought the handheld version, It'll tell you like it supports the PlayStation handheld, the PS6 portable or whatever. I don't know what they'll call it. So the idea is like, yeah, you buy the handheld, you can just download Astrobot 2 directly to this handheld device and play it. But, the theory that I'm going with here, it's not so much a theory, but I'm just, a hypothetical. If you have a PS5, you can't play Astrobot 2. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's just the idea. Like where we could do maybe Gran Turismo 8 makes the most sense. Gran Turismo 8 is a launch title for the PS6, only launching on PS6. It will be fully optimized for the PlayStation handheld. So there will be 2 PlayStation devices that can play Gran Turismo 8. If you want, you can just buy the handheld and make that the only way you access this game. Sony will be fine with that. But if you're somebody who wants both, you'll be able to play it at home and on the go. The real question is dockability. I don't know if that's a word, dockability. I want to know more about Sony's plan for the way you will or will not be able to dock the PlayStation handheld, because I definitely could see people, I don't think it'll be a lot of people, but some people will buy the PlayStation handheld and that will be their PS6, basically. They'll take a chance because not every single PS6 game will be optimized to run natively on the handheld. Some games you may only have the option to stream. MBG, I'm interested in the PS6 handheld, but I have concerns. By creating a lesser hardware on day one, is Sony potentially at risk of recreating the same issues Microsoft had with the S series? Your concerns are definitely understandable based off of what we saw with the Series S, but there is a fundamental difference here. The fundamental difference being that with the Xbox Series S, and the Series X, it was built on RDNA 2 technology. And RDNA 2 technology had certain shortcomings that, well, I guess the best way to put it is there was just certain software technologies that did not exist in any capacity for AMD yet. And so because of that, the Series S and the Series X, the difference between them was purely reliant on the raw hardware in the boxes. And that's why, like, for example, when when you look at the Series S, the biggest concern is like the split memory, right? And that was a sacrifice that had to be made to achieve the certain price point that they were looking at. It's also worth noting that the PlayStation 6 handheld is not looking to be a $300 device. That's important to highlight as well, because it's when you look at the PS6 handheld, it's not weak. So like if I type in the PS6 handheld specs, the leaked specifications of the PS6 handheld, or Canis, suggest a high-performance 3-nanometer AMD chip designed for a 2027 release. It is expected to feature 6-core Zen 6 CPU, a Zen 6 6-core CPU, 16 RDNA 5 GPU compute units. The important thing to understand about the compute units there is like one RDNA 5 GPU compute unit is like the equivalent of like 10 or something or more. So it's just it's like 3 times more powerful or something for a single RDNA 5 compute unit compared to an RDNA 1/2 compute unit, which is the compute units that are in the PS5 currently. And they're going to be clocked anywhere between 1.2 and 1.65 gigahertz, 24 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, and native compatibility with PS4, PS5 games, and also PS6 games. Let's see what other details we have here. 1 terabyte, likely supports 1 terabyte SSD. Docking functionality is expected to See, this is what the leak is saying here. Docking functionality is expected to significantly increase performance, possibly up to 3 times faster than the rumored Nintendo Switch 2. We need confirmation on that, dude. Because that's the big one, man. Like, if Sony basically sells the handheld like a Switch 2, like, you can dock it and get way more performance, like, that's going to be a big deal to a lot of people, I think. Versus, like, oh, yeah, you can dock it, but it's not going to do anything. What else does it say here? Likely to feature an advanced high-density screen and the ability to run PS4 PS5 games. Performance goal. The device is rumored to be designed for high-end handheld performance, potentially surpassing the Asus ROG Ally and matching or exceeding the capabilities of an Xbox Series S. But here's the thing. So it says AI technology. The system is expected to utilize advanced AI upscaling, potentially PSSR3, to improve visual performance. So the best way to look at it is like this. I want you to imagine the Series S right now. All right. Imagine, let's just say GTA 6, right? GTA 6, people are expecting this game to be playable on the Series S, obviously, but they're expecting it to run at like 540p at 30 frames per second. Now imagine if there was an AI upscaler so powerful on the Series S right now. You know what? Shit. Maybe GTA 6 is the worst game to use because that's probably going to be a massively CPU-intensive game. All right, maybe I'll just stick with it. We'll see where it goes. So GTA 6 comes out on the Series S. It's 540p, 720p, 30 frames. Okay? And sometimes it dips below 30. Imagine there was an upscaler so powerful that if Rockstar implemented it with GTA 6 on the Series S, it could automatically upscale the image to a quality that looks near 4K. And it'll stabilize that 30 frames. So you're basically getting 4K 30. Do you see the difference there? How it's like even just something like PSSR3 for this upcoming handheld will make such a dramatic difference. And I understand the idea that people are nervous about, like, well, still, if the handheld exists, is it going to hold back PS6 games? We have to understand we have zero confirmation as of right now. There is no rumor, there is no leak, there is nothing. We have heard nothing about there being a mandate. So in other words, if a developer doesn't want their game to run on the PlayStation handheld, they don't have to make it run on the handheld. There's not an obligation to release their game on the handheld. But here's the thing. The idea is there's going to be no point in not releasing on the handheld. Because I'll tell you right now, if we knew at the beginning of this generation that we were going to hit the type of walls that we're hitting, nobody would have cared. Or I'm going to say nobody would have cared, but the conversation around things being held back would have been dramatically reduced because people would have realized, like, we're about to hit a wall. You understand? And scalability is something that was touted a lot with the Series S. Like, it's going to be so scalable. And it's like, sure, to an extent, but really where we are now, 5 to 6 years later, with the technological advancements between RDNA 1 and 2 to RDNA 5, now we're really talking about crazy levels of scalability that simply were not possible or feasible back in 2020 and 2019 when these consoles, like the Series S were first being developed. MVG, the hardware wasn't as big a problem on the Series S as much as the lower pool of RAM. The devs were complaining about it before it even released. Some devs had more time and resources to sustain, though. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. If you look at what Sony's doing with the RAM in the handheld, they're not cheaping out on it. They're doing 24 gigabytes. So, the RAM shouldn't be a problem at all. The architecture, it's just so important to understand that the architecture that's going to be in the handheld is the same architecture that's going to be in the PS6. Whiskey, you're heading out, man. Well, I hope you have a good workout, bro. Oh, I see we got Josh Nuggets. He says, it's my birthday today, MBG. You should gift me a membership. Well, happy birthday, Josh. I can't gift you a membership, bro. I would if I could. Like, if I could just say next membership goes to Josh as a birthday membership, I would do that, but I can't do that. So we'll see. We'll be streaming probably for a little bit longer here. We still have some time to get more gifts, and maybe you'll get lucky, bro. Who knows? I don't know. There were quite a few people in the stream yesterday that were hoping to get member gifts, and I think we got like 50 gifts yesterday, and I don't think any of them got it. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, man. And Shadow Link comes. Yo, Shadow and Corey. Look at that. They just dropped a 21. They opened a 21 pack. Shadow Link, he's like, it's Josh Nugget's birthday. I got to drop the 20. He drops 20 on you, and Corey drops a single. How funny would it be if Corey's single was the one that got him, though? Let's see. Damn, not... Spray Cheese 743 got a membership. Damn. They try. Yo, Shadow Link, thank you so much for the 20 bomb, bro. Or, sorry, 20 pack. 20 pack.
Holy shit.
And Corey dropping a single. They just brought us up to 31. Damn. Yeah, we were just talking about that a couple minutes ago, Sparky. Asha Sharma, her statement about Game Pass. Yeah. I'm not going to repeat everything I said, but yeah, we did cover it. Shadowlink, thank you for 20 member gifts. Corey, thank you for another single. That brings us up to 31, so we can feed the beast. It's time. Let me hold on. Update this. All right, so we crushed the first goal. I'll put up a second goal. If you guys want to hit it, feel free. If we hit the second goal at the end of the stream, I'll do some more drumming. All right. I drummed for way too long. By the way, I went back and I listened to myself drumming on that stream yesterday. Yeah, I could tell, like, I'm not 100% comfortable yet. It's going to take some time for me to get truly comfortable playing this kit, for sure. Because I played later on yesterday, and I found a trick. So I had the hearing protection on, but I put headphones in underneath so I could play with a song. And I think I started playing a lot better. I could be wrong. I couldn't really hear myself too well. But well, I appreciate that, Shadowlink. Yeah, but I was cringing at myself a little bit because I'm like, oh man, I just, you know what I'm not used to, dude? Like, I was playing my electric kit the other day before I got these drums, and I turned my amplifier up as loud as I could. And I'm like, this is how loud the acoustic set will sound, right? Like, this is about the same volume. It's not the same, dude. I know it sounds crazy, but like I have to readjust to the volume of playing an acoustic kit. I forgot how fucking loud that. Oh my God, bro. You can feel it too. You can feel it, but I was trying. Yeah, it's really not the same. It's just not the same. So it's gonna take some time for me to readjust. But I was trying to really. Oh, another thing I forgot to tell you guys. I wasn't using my new sticks yesterday as well. Oh, boss is in here. Boss, you ready for some treats?
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
Oh God. Oh, what? Oh my God! I didn't know you were there, boss. Oh, dude, he just scared the shit out of me. Oh man. Okay. First time ever, boss just gave me a genuine jump scare. I didn't know he was under, like, right under me here. I was looking over at the. I was looking over at the door, thinking like, bro, where is he? Boss, don't scare me like that, man. Here you go. Woo. All right. Dwayne, yeah, unfortunately you missed quite a bit, bro. I can't recap, but no, I forgot to tell you guys, like, when I was playing yesterday, I was using the sticks I was using on my electric kit, which are the lightest drumsticks you can get. I forget the name or the size, the measurements or whatever, but they were the lightest, thinnest sticks. I nearly fell into the drum kit. I bought a new pair. These ones here. They're actually Matt Cameron signature sticks. You know, I've really grown to appreciate his drumming in recent years. You know, he's with not just Soundgarden, he's with Pearl Jam. Well, he's no longer with Pearl Jam, but specifically his drumming in Soundgarden. I'm kind of obsessed with Soundgarden. And these are like way bigger, way thicker, way heavier. So I went to go use these yesterday on the drums, and oh my God, dude, like it's again, it's another situation where it's like I forgot how big of a difference. What's I forget what's hold on, I could tell you, right? I just forgot how big of a difference, man. The stream is all over the place. It's always all over the place, man. It's the way we roll here. You know that. Don't act like you don't know that. That's why you're here. Now we'll get back to gaming. I just now I feel like I have to order not order. I need to go to my orders and figure out what size. I want to tell Ray with these sticks. What size are they? So they're Vic Firth Signature Series, Matt Cameron. 5B diameter with added length for plenty of power and reach. Longer taper offers great response and a balanced feel. Barrel tip for cymbal sounds that really cut through. Crafted from premium USA hickory. Yeah, they feel really nice, dude. Oh my God, they're so heavy. They're so much heavier than the other ones. And like when I went to go use them yesterday to play, I'm like, holy shit, you actually can hear it now. You can hear it. And it just makes such a big difference, man. And stuff like that where I went with the absolute light as a feather sticks that I could go with the when I was playing the electric, because I'm like, I don't want to break anything. Nah. Actually, Rich, you want to know what's funny? You're saying I heard Soundgarden are heavy into Xbox. You should it should worry you. If I'm not mistaken, I think Soundgarden was like, they were huge fans of that game Road Rash. Like, I think they were even involved a little bit let me see. Road Rash 1994, specifically the 3DO version, is famous for featuring licensed music from grunge band Soundgarden. Songs include Rusty Cage, Outshine, Super Unknown, Kickstand, contributing to the game's high-energy cult classic reputation. So yeah, they were pretty involved. Apparently, they would like play this game on tour all the time. They were big fans of Road Rash. It's pretty funny. Super random. Ray, you were saying you called it. Oh, I'm checking now. Have I ever had Anthony's Pizza? That doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell, Rich Rod. I mean, I may have. Really, Boss he just ate and left. I did feed Boss. I did. But he just he's probably afraid I was going to start playing the drums again. That's probably what it was. But all right, all right, if we hit 50 at the end of the stream, I'll drum a little bit more, but we'll see. We'll see if we hit it or not. You did a 100-gram dose of creatine today, only drinking black coffee for water. That's I hope your kidneys can handle it, Rich. You recently bought Road Rash on the PS1. Well, going back to what we were saying, we were talking about the PlayStation handheld. Hold on. Get this out of here. And the whole thing about the PlayStation handheld, man. I'm telling you, the big thing we have to find out. I mean, obviously pricing. Like, I know there's people they're worried about scalability. I don't think this is going to be a problem. Like I was saying, this is not going to be. And I know how it sounds. It's like, oh, of course it's not, because you're a PlayStation fan, and if PlayStation does it, it's fine. No, like, really, all you have to do is understand just a very base level the differences between these different architectures and technologies. If you understand that, then you'll know that this is not going to be the same as the Series S and the Series X. The final boss just dubbed me MVP. Appreciated, bro. Supermarket pizza, it's so much cheaper. All right, yeah, if you're buying pizza from the supermarket, which brand are you getting? You know which one I've always liked? Red Baron. I do like DiGiorno. DiGiorno's good. But I think Red Baron's the best. Just throwing that out there. I want to eat some Red Baron while I'm playing my PlayStation handheld, while I'm playing the next God of War. You're looking forward to seeing new handheld, even though you're not a handheld person. I mean, that's the thing. I imagine I will get caught up into it because I'm going to be very interested in. It's kind of like with the Portal, where the Portal, I mean, I can't deny, man, like, I don't really play on it. I don't have to. I don't really have a use case for it. If I buy the handheld, like the proper PlayStation handheld when it comes out, I still am not going to have much of a use case for it, but it's going to feel like one of those things where the thing with the handheld is I might not get it at launch. It depends on when it comes out. Like, if Sony's going to do something where it's like we're launching the PS6 home console and the handheld side by side, then one of them's going to have to probably be purchased later on, unless they do some kind of really premium expensive. Maybe they could do like a bundle. That's another option. They could maybe bundle the console and handheld together and give you some kind of discount. Maybe, but probably not. All right. Hold on. Let me go check the gaming leaks from our subreddit. I got to keep an eye on this because they've been dropping new information, new leaks, new rumors on a hourly basis, it seems. All right. So nothing there. I want to go back to talking about something that I was asked earlier. It was about Marathon. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that situation because somebody was asking me what I think Sony's going to do about Marathon, seeing the player counts kind of, I don't want to say plummet, but all right. So right now, I mean, it's like Monday afternoon. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Marathon on Steam has 15,000 players on. The 24-hour peak was 25,000 players, and we are just a little over 1 month removed from, this game's launch. Again, if we look at what Alinea Analytics was saying, this game apparently only sold like a couple million copies. They're sorry, not even a couple million, 1.2 million, and a couple 100,000 copies across consoles. Can that sustain it? I don't think so. I'll be honest. All right. Here's what I'll say. If Marathon can retain between 20 and 25,000 players going forward, like it just stays at that, I think that could sustain it for a long time. But here's the thing. If we look at the Steam charts, it peaked at launch at 88,300. And the chart is it's slowly just going like this, down and down and down as each week passes. So there's just people leaving the game and not returning. Do I think in the long run this game is going to be sustainable? No. Do I think it's going to be shut down in the next couple months? No, I don't. I think Bungie, I want to be honest, man. Like, I think they're just a shell of their former selves. I'm not sure why they have over apparently 800 developers. I don't know. I was asking myself this question when I was playing Marathon. And the question I was asking myself is like, is Bungie like way overrated? Like, are they a very overrated developer? And I mean, I'm asking I'm not saying they are. It's just a question that popped into my mind where I'm like, this isn't like, I'm not saying Marathon is not a bad video game, but there's literally nothing there that makes me be like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Their last good game was Halo Reach. So, like the general idea is like they kind of peaked between Halo 1 and Reach, and that was like peak Bungie, and after that, they kind of... I mean, I know people love Destiny 2, so I try to keep that in mind as well. MBG, did you see via push square Starfield's unplayable PS5 crashing issue? Prompt Sony to refund players. Is that an update? I covered that story in my video today. Is there an update to it? Yeah, I think that was the story I covered earlier. Oh, no, there is an update. Hold on. Okay, so let's pause the Bungie talk for just a moment to interrupt for some Starfield PS5 talk. So there was an original story here. Something is causing Starfield to repeatedly crash on both PS5 and Pro. No one's quite sure why. Before we go into the details, we should note that this does not appear to be a universal issue. When we played the game for the sake of our Starfield review, we didn't encounter any problems. However, across sites like Reddit, reports of regular or frequent crashes are becoming more and more common as the title enters its first week on Sony's console. It's worrying stuff because we're now experiencing these crashes ourselves. This particular author started the game for the first time on Friday night and was met with repeatable crashes upon exploring one of the title's major cities. Naturally, we ran some tests, and as far as we could tell, the crashing is at least influenced by the graphic settings that you're using. On PS5 Pro, we went through every mode, visuals, enhanced, and performance, when the frame rate was uncapped, and we very quickly hit crashes across all of them. It was only when we capped the frame rate at 60 FPS that we could advance through the city without the game freezing up. However, we then stumbled up into consistent crashes when traversing the wilderness. We got around this by disabling PSSR2, and it says here, but this is just our own experience. Users in the Reddit posts we mentioned have been toying with all sorts of fixes and nothing seems to work. In short, there's something very wrong with Starfield right now. Even Digital Foundry's why do they write like this? Even Digital Foundry's fallen afoul with the dreaded crashes. In their technical review of Starfield, they write, unfortunately, both PS5 and Pro crashed somewhat regularly during testing, a phenomenon that didn't affect the Xbox Series release on launch. When crashing, the game locks up and becomes unresponsive, requiring a forced restart at a system level. We observed this behavior across multiple modes and configurations, so there's no obvious suggestion on how to avoid these issues. Now there's an update to this. They say update Monday, April 13th. There are now numerous reports across the likes of Reddit and social media that Sony is refunding Starfield on PS5. Players are being met with a successful refund upon getting in touch with PlayStation support, but it's not a guarantee. Some users' requests simply aren't being pushed through for whatever reason. So it's not exactly the same as what we saw with Cyberpunk, where they just gave a refund no matter what. Still, it just goes to show how widespread Starfield's issues actually are. As mentioned in our original story below, plenty of players have been hit with these game-breaking crashes with no solution. Has anybody here had any issues with Starfield? I know some of you guys have been playing. Is it true that there's a PlayStation Studio startup screen when you start a marathon? Yes. Yep. MVG, I have a Pro and I have had no crashes yet. I played only about an hour of the game, but I'll keep you updated. Going to play more today. Yeah, see, that's what's weird to me is how it's like some people are just having no problems. How is that possible? Some people are having like literal game-breaking crashing issues that just won't stop to the point where they're requesting refunds. The fact that Sony's actually issuing refunds is the more concerning part. Sony really only does that for games that actually are having some kind of serious problem. Because Sony does not like giving refunds on the store, bro. Oh, only you sheep buy games, so that's how it works. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Hey, what's going on? What's going on here? Dillo, you're saying they make it so difficult. They do. They really do. Sony really should take a page from, like, they don't have to copy Steam, but they need to ease up a bit, you know? Not for you, MBG. Oh, okay. I know. I didn't read it that way, Cujo. I know. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming this is something that Bethesda's already working on, because if it's as widespread as they're making it sound. I mean, like, I went on the PS5 subreddit. The first thing I saw 17 hours ago, Starfield PS5 players demand refunds, reporting widespread bugs and glitches that leave the game unplayable. Let's see. First time playing a Bethesda game, huh? Although somebody responds and they said, as someone who's played them all on a PS3, no less, this is definitely the worst I've experienced with Bethesda since PS3 Skyrim. I've had a brand new PS5 Pro and I've only had maybe 50 crashes. Or I've had maybe 50 crashes with Starfield. The last of which messed up my PS5 where it became insanely slow. Like, I click my user profile and spend 8 minutes to get to the PlayStation home screen. What the what? Yo, is Starfield about to start breaking PlayStations? What? That's crazy. Dude, I would be so pissed. I'd be like, Starfield broke my PlayStation. Says I had to delete and re-download the game and re-download the DLC twice. Today when I would go into the game and on the menu screen where it says press any button to continue pressing any button would crash it. Going into Creation Club and making any change and exiting to menu causes a crash. Thing is, I'm actually enjoying the game and my first few hours were very solid, but as soon as I tried to explore the first planet with the first city, the crashes began and kept going. So, Ray, that's the question I have for you, man. Did you get to the first major city yet? because it does seem like there might be something tethered to that, like when the game actually fully opens up and you have and no crashes. That's so weird, huh? Oh, stop. See, why, bro? Why me? I know, right? PlayStation, Sony, PS5 Pro, paperweight. The Series S can handle Starfield no problem, but you're telling me the Pro just constantly crashes? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. I mean, I'm not surprised to see how the creation engine they used was made circa 1752. I mean, that's the big thing with the Elder Scrolls 6, right? Is like they're going to have a new engine, right? Because the big thing that seems to really drag Starfield down is the creation engine. It seems to be the fact that, like, yeah, they there was this promise of like this is going to be the next big game, but there needed to be like a new engine associated with it to really help it achieve those heights. What's going to happen to Starfield is going to brick your PS5 Pro, and then Bethesda's going to offer Series X as a replacement. Yeah, this is Phil Spencer's final goodbye. This is it. This is his final play. I like this generation too. This generation is pretty good. Now that's nasty work. Any sales numbers for Starfield on PS5? Real numbers though? Nothing. Haven't heard anything yet, but it seems like it's doing well. That's the thing. It seems like it's doing very well. Atlantis City is heavy as F, even on PC. Super CPU heavy. Well, I imagine this is probably the utmost priority for Bethesda right now. I think after 49 crashes, I'd give up on this game. Bro, salute that man. Who pushes past 49 crashes? I mean, that's just sad to me, where it's like you must actually really like this game, man. Where you keep going back to it after 40. That can't be real. There's no way. He's exaggerating. Nobody goes back to a game after 40 crashes, let alone, even like 30, let alone 50. It crashed on my Series X twice, and on the third time loading in. I love playing on console, but when it comes to Bethesda, I have two rules. Never buy the game on release and never buy it on console. I did it once. It literally bricked my console. Never again. Wait, dude, how bad is the situation with Bethesda? Like, I know they have a reputation. It's like Bugthesda, but it's not. You're telling me they were bricking people's consoles, bro? Oh, man. What's going on over there? What's going so wrong? I'm still unable to progress in Fallout 4 because of the fire support mission bug on my PS5. I reinstalled the game, started numerous new saves. No matter what, the quest doesn't end. Bugs are a Bethesda feature. Oh, man. It started out pretty solid, minus performance issues on certain planets. But the longer my save goes on, the more issues that have been cropping up. Cannot save errors. A lockup at times. An NPC I had to talk to got stuck in a wall, etc. That's horrible, man. On a subreddit thread entitled Base PS5 Crashing Getting Out of Hand, it's unplayable, with dozens and dozens of comments. One player reported that they tried all proposed fixes and saved uninstall, reinstall for last. Now the game won't even load. This is beyond ridiculous. On another road, I can't even land on any planets or try to do anything other than sit in my ship or the game will crash. Oh, man. I'm at 37 hours. It's crashing every 10 to 15 minutes on average. And several other people are reporting the same thing. The game in particular, so somebody says here, the game in particular seems to start breaking down around 20 hours. So Ray, keep that in mind, bro. Like, try track of when you hit the 20-hour mark. This is a data leak. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, the longer you play, it's a known issue for a lot of Bethesda games. Got a memory leak, bro. And Shadowlink with a $5 chat says the Creation Engine 2 is just a virus with the side effect of playing games. Damn, man. Definitely worth the $7.5 billion acquisition, you know? This is the real play. This is why they bought them and decided we're going to put them on PS5 and Switch. That's diabolical. Creation Engine 2. It's just a nasty-ass virus. Get to play some games in between. Well, yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with this. Or you guys can keep me updated. There'll probably be a fix very soon, though. Because if it's like actually something like, yeah, basically when you hit the 20-hour mark, the game just breaks. If that's really what it is, then they're going to have to fix that really fast. Because we're at that point where, you know, people who bought this game, they're going to be hitting that 20-hour mark soon, if they haven't already. Yeah, so apparently Sony is starting to give out refunds for Starfield for people who are asking for it. I mean, if it does become a more universal thing, it could become problematic. Creation Engine, more like Destruction Engine, am I right? Yeah, man. And Ray is dropping the Discord link in the chat once more. Yeah, if you guys want to join the MBG Discord, feel free to do so. Just, you know, be polite. That's all I ask. Follow the rules. But you can join it. We got a bunch of stuff over there. People like to... all we do is just bash Xbox all day, every day on that Discord. That's what we do. That's all it is. Post some updates in the Discord later today as well. Yeah, dude, Ray's going to post a picture. It's like, so my PS5 exploded. The moment I hit the 20-hour mark, just exploded. So, yeah. You're glad you didn't pick up Starfield on PS5? Well, You know, actually, I just realized I don't think they gave out codes at all for Starfield, right? For the PS5 version, unless I'm wrong about something. But I don't think anybody got like early access to the PS5 version. I wonder if they kind of knew that something may have been wrong. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys know if they did? Because I haven't heard anything. I don't think there was like another review cycle or anything like that. Why does Starfield look like a 360 game? Detective Seeds got one. So they did give out codes. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I know that they had an event, Ray. Oh, let me see. Did Bethesda give out review codes for Starfield PS5? It says, based on reports surrounding the game's release, Bethesda did not widely send out review codes for Starfield's PS5 version ahead of its launch. Limited access. Similar to the original 2023 release, Bethesda was very selective with codes, leading to a lack of early mainstream reviews. So, reports indicate a lack of early review access may have been due to significant, well-documented performance issues. Exceptions. Literally, dude, that's the only person they list. Despite the limited distribution, some creators, such as Detective Seeds, confirmed receiving a code. What? Did anybody beyond Detective Seeds confirm receiving a code? Anybody? Detective Seeds was the only person that got a code. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if maybe there was something going on where like they kind of knew like there's a part of this game that's totally broken, but it's like further in. We think we can have the patch ready. We don't have to delay the release. We'll have the patch ready before people hit this point in the game. I don't know. Yeah, Bethesda's they've always been kind of weird with codes, I think, for this reason. MBG, what's the story about Jeff Grubb and Fable? I kind of feel bad for him because like there's all these leaks and rumors, and Jeff Grubb came out and he was like, from what he was saying, from what he heard, Fable got pushed internally, it got delayed internally, and they still want to release it this year, but they they're getting nervous about GTA, where they don't want to release it anywhere near GTA, so they might be in this awkward position where it's like they might have to release it in December. Worst case scenario, it gets delayed to 2027. But then the official Fable account, I think, straight up said like, "Hey, we're still releasing this autumn." You know, basically saying like, "Hey, there's no delay." So who knows? I mean, I don't think Jeff Grubb's probably not wrong. Like when he says it was delayed internally, I mean that could mean like we were trying to target October, but we might we have to push it back by like a month or two. That would still, I think, technically be autumn. I mean, winter doesn't start till like towards the end of December, I believe. So like technically, if they release the first week or two of December, I'm pretty sure that still counts as autumn, right? Or fall, whatever. So I don't know. I don't think Jeff Grubb would just make something like that up. It's kind of very specific. Davis, you're saying I'm at level 17, 32 hours in on my pro. It crashed maybe 3 times, and I loot everything I see. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. It seems like it might be pretty specific. Guys, I see we're approaching the 3-hour mark. Okay, so I think I'll keep it a little bit on the shorter side. Well, it's not short. I mean, 3 hours is pretty solid. But so many of my streams, dude, I've been going for 4 or 5 hours. So here's what we'll do. We'll do like a last call. I'll stream for another anywhere 5-10 minutes. Get around to the 3-hour mark, and I think that's where we'll kind of wrap it up. So if we want to drop any more support before we wrap up today, feel free to do so. We're sitting at 31 members. Thank you guys so much for that. If you want to drop any more super chats or direct donations, anything along those lines, now would be the time to do it before we close it out. Is it true that Tomb Raider's been delayed? It seems like there's truth to that. Yeah. That will probably be confirmed this week. And PlayStation Pete, member for 50 months at Play Has No Limits Plus. Pete, thank you for that support, man. Really appreciate it. You're saying, did you platinum RE9? Yes, I did. I loved it. Just a shout out to Capcom, dude. RE9 was so far still the highlight of my year so far. Love that game. Got the platinum. You're saying still doing website training for AI business. My sister's getting an AI robot when available. Oh man, we'll be trading. Saying we'll be trading 30th PS5 Pro, Switch to 60 games and 10 controllers for PS6. Are you going to? Am I going to see the Michael Jackson biopic? I don't know that I'm going to go out to see it. I might watch it when it's available on demand. An AI robot. Bro, don't trade in your 30th PS5 Pro. Pete, don't do it. Don't do it. Sell it. Do not trade it. Sell it. Whatever you do not get. I don't know if you're talking about GameStop. When the day comes, if you want to get rid of it, that's fine. If you don't want to have it anymore, do not trade that and sell it, dude. You'll get your money's worth for that. Oh, yeah. Here we go. PlayStation Pete, bro. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I have a In a brutal and damning section of a wider interview, ex-Bethesda boss Pete Hines has put Microsoft on blast without specifically mentioning them by name. As part of a chat with journalist Kirk McCand, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, he implied his former employees are not part of something authentic or genuine, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Hines worked his way up the ranks of Bethesda as part of a 24-year tenure, but he departed shortly prior to the release of Starfield in 2023. The publisher was, of course, purchased by Microsoft for $7.5 billion as part of an unprecedented and largely uncontested acquisition in 2021. Pete Hines, it seems, was not particularly elated with his new parent company. Quote, I was staying there because this place still needs me. I just hit a point of, yes, it needs me, and I am powerless to do what I think needs to be done to run this place properly, to protect these people, to maintain what we worked so hard to create, which is an incredibly efficient, well-run video game developer and publisher. And when I was unable to do what I thought my job should involve in continuing to have that place be, you know, if not the most efficient publisher in the industry, it was way the F up there. And when I couldn't protect it and I saw how it was getting damaged and broken apart and frankly mistreated by that bitch, Phil Spencer, I'm just so he didn't say that. Frankly mistreated, abused, whatever word you want to use. I said, I'm not going to sit here and watch this happen right in front of me, damn it. You can tell, dude, he's so mad. Holy shit. That minus the Phil Spencer part, that yeah, that's what he said. That's what Pete Hines said. An executive Pete Hines had intended to leave in 2022, but multiple delays to Starfield kept him in the building until 2023. As noted by Kotaku, he was around long enough to testify during the FTC's trial involving Microsoft's acquisition of Activision and had circulated an email internally asking why Call of Duty would remain multi-platform, but Bethesda's games were being made exclusive. Microsoft famously struck a deal with Disney in order to make Indiana Jones and the Great Circle as an exclusive, as had originally been planned for multiple platforms. It was originally planned for multiple platforms, and Hines would subsequently have to defend that decision as part of the court case. The game would eventually release on PS5 anyway. Without mentioning anyone specifically, Pete Hines said there were people at Microsoft he genuinely held in high regard, but for the worst part of his career was seeing how it actually worked. God damn. Oh, boy. He says, quote, to talk is something, right? But I'm very much about what is the follow-up to that? Do you mean what you say? Or are you just saying shit that sounds good, and then as soon as you leave this room, that's completely forgotten? Because that is not how we ever operated at Bethesda. That's not to say everything Bethesda said we did. Yeah, we probably didn't fucking come close to that, but that was absolutely our intention. We're going to do what we say and say what we do and be genuine and be authentic. And truthfully, I still think Bethesda is just part of something that is not authentic and is not genuine. And that shouldn't be a surprise to you. Bro, he just straight up took a steaming dump on Microsoft. Okay? Like, straight up. And, you know, you do got to wonder, like, you got to wonder what the hell went on behind the scenes with some of this stuff. Because he seems genuinely like he was not happy with Microsoft, bro. Starfield was going to be money-handed by Sony, and Hines was behind that. He also let Ghostwire and Deathloop be timed PlayStation console exclusives. That's true, too. Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is like, I mean, the thing that's, now I will acknowledge, he seems to have kind of acknowledged to an extent in these quotes where he says, like, he said, and when I was unable to do what I thought my job should involve in continuing to have that place be, you know, if not the most efficient publisher, you know, it was way the F up there. I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not like a big Bethesda guy. I feel like when Microsoft went in to acquire them, Bethesda was not in a good place. Am I wrong about that? Like, I feel like they tried to do this big live service thing. Who's that sound like? And it just kind of blew up on them. But I mean, I don't know. There's another part here. He says, I'm just going to reread this quote. He says, to talk is something, right? But I'm very much about what is the follow-up to that? Do you mean what you say, or are you just saying that shit that sounds good, and then as soon as you leave the room, that's completely forgotten? Because that's not how we ever operated at Bethesda. That's not to say everything Bethesda said we did. Yeah, we probably didn't fucking come close to that. But that was our intention. So I at least appreciate he has a level of self-awareness where he's acknowledging that, like, listen, bro, were we great? Probably not. But did we mean what we said? That was our intention pure and we were really trying? Yes. I'll tell you, there's an undertone. I don't know if you guys are picking up on this. There's an undertone to what he's saying. You know, Pete Hines is creating a separation here where he's basically saying that, listen, there's the way we were trying to do things, and there's the way that the company that we were purchased by wants to do things. And he wasn't having any of that. So it's not, I don't think it's so much about, I think somebody might interpret what Pete Hines is saying as like, so you just think you're better than Microsoft, huh? It's not so much that as I think he's basically saying that, like, there are certain like aspects about Microsoft that people have assumed that are completely correct. And it's probably not, any different in any of these other corporations, but I just think it's interesting. It's interesting to hear him, because my understanding is Pete Hines did not leave on good terms, dude. I remember when that email came out, like, that was the first real red flag. When the email came out in the Activision Blizzard trial where he was like, why the F for Call of Duty game is not going to be exclusive, but ours have to be? And it's true, like, he took the deals, right? Or not him specifically, but Bethesda took the deals from Sony. They were thinking about money hatting Starfield. They money hatted Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. But I think maybe what he was probably trying to convey, if I had to assume, is like, it's kind of like how when I would talk to you guys about PlayStation, where it's like, yeah, we'll put Helldivers on Xbox. And I'm like, Sony, be careful. Be careful, because it's like, you're going to have your other studios are going to look at you and be like, why can't we put our games over there? Like, how come they get that treatment and we don't? So it's kind of almost like the politics of it all, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I think, if I had to guess? Even if it's just based off that email, and I mean, here's my question. Here's my question. When Pete Hines says to talk is something, right? But I'm very much about what is the follow-up to that. Do you mean what you say, or are you just saying shit that sounds good, and then as soon as you leave the room, it's completely forgotten? Who do you think he's talking about? See, that's what's interesting about this interview with him, is like, he had a problem with somebody at Microsoft. Like, he had yeah, I think so too. I think he's talking about Phil Spencer. It's an assumption on my part, but he's there's somebody in mind. He's like this close to saying the name. And I'm so curious about that, dude. I'm so curious about, like, it's just fascinating to me that Pete Hines, he really seemingly did have some kind of level of respect for some of the executives at Microsoft and what they did. And then, like, once he was part of it, he, like, lost respect. He's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you guys are frauds. You're all frauds. And I can kind of respect that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about Pete Hines or Bethesda. I know that they have their own baggage as well. But I just think it's so funny that, like, the idea that he came in and he's like, this is a bunch of fraudulent bullshit. I want no part of it. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think Bethesda's better or worse underneath Microsoft? I feel like Bethesda kind of got pushed to the wayside once ABK came in, All right. Well, guys, I think this is going to be a good place to wrap up the stream. I don't want to just let me see. I should probably change my thumbnail though, because we didn't talk nearly as much about God of War. I always do that. Why do I do that? We didn't talk nearly as much about God of War as I thought, but honestly, it's because we talked so much about it yesterday. I guess we're gonna see, man.
Yeah, that you show was fire, MBG. Also, your basement Reno has me fired up, buddy. I want a man cave in my house. You need a badass Wolverine thing on the wall.
Oh yeah, on the wall. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you like the basement being redone, man. I would like to eventually get some kind of canvas or poster or something. See where I could put it. Cardboard cutout, Wolverine. I would like to get something Wolverine though, eventually, specifically for the game. I'll check to see what the collector's edition ends up being. Maybe they'll have like a statue. I mean, I'm not really big into statues. As you can see, I don't really have anything with that. But eventually, I'm gonna have a media tower here. Probably will be about as high as where the cat tower is. Maybe a little bit lower actually. Might be around like here. And there should be enough space at the top where I can put some stuff on top of it. Wait, MBG, did you hear about the Xbox exec who said they made deals with Japanese publishers too? No. An agreement to prevent possible Sony monopoly? I didn't see anything about that. Hold on. Did that just come out? Hold on. Let me see. I see Starfield PS5 launch hits crashes and refund calls. That's trending on my thing for now. No, where was this being reported? I'm scrolling and I'm seeing if anything pops up. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I did find something. Yeah, okay, so I thought I may have scrolled by something like this earlier from Genki Japan over on Twitter. Former Xbox exec Ed Fries says Tecmo released Dead or Alive 3 and 4 exclusive to Xbox because they wanted Sony to have competition and not become a monopoly. Quote, they did it kind of to tweak Sony, because they wanted Sony to have competitors because otherwise there's a monopoly. Monopoly. And monopolies, just do whatever they want. Former Xbox exec Ed Fry says he regrets not securing Final Fantasy on the OG Xbox. Says he talked to many Japanese publishers at the time and they wanted Sony to have competition, but couldn't make it too obvious they were supporting Xbox. Some of them we were able to do deals with. Some of them we weren't. Xbox were able to do some deals after I left with Square, but it was always like a tough discussion because they wanted Sony to have competition, but they couldn't be too overt for their support of Xbox. They couldn't make it too obvious they were supporting Xbox. Interesting. I mean, I believe that to an extent. Back then, I mean, Xbox was trying to get any type of foothold they could with Japanese devs. But yeah, I agree. Deals have always been part of the industry. There is always deals. There's probably so many deals that have occurred that we don't even know about, But I don't know. We'll see. Here's what I want to know. Is Asha Sharma Willer? Oh my God. Will her Asha Sharma make deals one day? Maybe. I don't know. I can't speak it. It's a good thing I'm ending the stream because clearly I can't talk. I've reached my limit for the day. Will Asha Sharma be open to trying to make deals? I doubt it. I mean, well, we'll see. It all hinges to me on what happens with Gears of War E-Day, because we were talking about how Gears of War E-Day is apparently going to be exclusive. That's the rumor, that they're making it exclusive. And if they do that, that's sending a signal. If they were willing to go back to some level of exclusivity, that would imply they might be willing to go back to doing some kind of deals. Yeah, we saw that. Daniel RPK is teasing some kind of Uncharted. Yep. I think it's safe to say that the second game from Naughty Dog is Uncharted. Oh, that's funny, dude. Tomorrow Replace is coming out. They made a deal with Xbox to keep it off PlayStation day one. That's so funny. Damn, that deal must have been made years ago. The irony. Huh. I didn't know that. Yeah, that game Replace, that sounds familiar. I think I remember seeing that at an Xbox show. But we will see. Yeah, we will see. The age of Asha Sharma. We got to hear what Sony's plan is, dude. Sony's clearly doing something. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of Press X Podcast. Apologies, as always, for it being kind of all over the place. But I do hope you enjoyed it. I want to extend a big thank you to everybody who showed up today and took time to watch it. Tarnished, I'm so sorry. Literally, as soon as Tarnished enters, I'm wrapping the stream up. Tarnished, hey, you know what? You want to drop 20 member gifts, extend the stream? Go ahead. Somebody wants to do it on your behalf? Go ahead. But I think this is where we're going to wrap it up. I'm doing good. I'm sorry. I feel bad. You come in so enthusiastic. But hey, you'll be able to watch the VOD, you know. This is a 3-hour show. It's a pretty good one. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who dropped support. We hit 31 members today. Thank you for that. For all of you guys who are dropping direct donations, any super chats, thank you. I can only do what I do here because you guys make it possible. We're totally fan funded, and I'm very grateful for that. And I want to also shout out Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter does the timestamps for the streams. So if you guys see him in the comments with those timestamps, give him some thanks, show him some love. I know he appreciates it. Devil Shooter, thank you for what you do. And the only other thing I'm going to ask you to do is hit that like button as you're filing out. Liking the stream helps it more than you know. And I do just want to remind everybody that I put out a video earlier as well. It's a news video. So if you missed the stream, you can go check that out, get the news, come back and watch the stream. But go check that out, show that video some support. And yeah, I think that will pretty much wrap it up. We should be back here tomorrow if everything goes according to plan. And going to be really curious to see if we get any more information about the state of play, because apparently if we are getting one, it's coming this Thursday. So today's Monday, so we'll count down the days. But all right, guys, hit that like button. I will catch everybody in the next one. Until then, take care, everyone.